And we are back. What is going on, everybody? Let me adjust that camera. It's shooting down a little too hard at that angle. But welcome back. It is another Friday. It is another episode of The Good, The Mav, The Ugly, the show that I, your host, Spencer Vaculi, Mav, the editor of Bounding Into Comics, the co-host of Foil Variant, however you know me, I host the show every Friday to kick your weekend off right because the world is it's terrible right now. It's really, really bad. So, but that doesn't mean there's not still things that we can, appreciate, reasons to get up in the morning, things to enjoy, things to help us get us through these crappy days. So that's why we're here. Kick back, hang out. Let's talk about what's on your mind, general things that's going on. You guys know how it goes. If you're a longtime viewer, if you're a new viewer, just how's it going? Nice to have you. But with that, guys, let's see. Before we get started, quick note, last week, you'll notice that we did not have a show. That is totally, okay, nothing bad happened. That's completely on me. I don't know what it was one of those nights where I went to bed at like 1 a.m., very actually like early time. I slept until like noon. So I was just completely out. And so like 3 hours to get to this new like 3:30 time that we're aiming for, I was like, there's no way. It's going to be a mess. I'm going to be frantic. None of us are going to, enjoy ourselves. So we took a break. I decided to focus on some work, but we are back. Nothing is stopping us today. And there's actually a lot going on this week. Obviously, there's all the stuff going on in America that maybe we'll talk about later in the show near the end. Maybe I'll sign off with that because unsurprisingly, I have thoughts, but that's not what we're here for, right? Like this is a show to be positive, have fun, but also I do want to touch on it because the other point of this show is to help us be better as just human beings to each other, right? Like remind us all, like get us all to this place where we can at least be talking from reality and understanding. So all that aside, we have Borderlands 4 being a complete disaster. Like that thing it's so bad how Randy Pitchford every freaking time a Borderlands game comes out or anything comes out from Gearbox, how just like badly he fumbles everything. Gosh, I totally thought I had a bigger list of things. Yeah, because we talked about Deadpool, Batman last night over on Foil Variant. Go check that out. Surprisingly, well, okay, surprisingly, I would say surprisingly, that book was pretty damn fun, right? Like, it's been over 20 years since we got a Marvel DC crossover. They're more corporate than ever right now. They are in some of the worst storytelling spots imaginable in comic book history. And yet somehow, whether, you know what it is? All right, let me finish one sentence and then go to the next. Somehow they, all the DC talent, all the Marvel talent, they work together and they made something that's like genuinely fun. It's the perfect type of issue to pick up, you read, and you just have fun. Like kind of like junk food, right? It's like candy. You go, oh yeah, I really like that Starburst. You're maybe not getting a lot of nutritional value out of it, if anything at all, but it's still fun and it's still enjoyable. So, like, hats off to them for that. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that they have limitations, right? In that book, because that comic is it's like 35 pages or something, but it's got multiple stories in it. So they're all not chopped up, but there's, multiple stories throughout the book with very odd page counts, as Andrew and I went over last night. Like, they are all different page counts. Of course, you expect the first story to be the longest because that's Deadpool Batman, that's the headliner. But then it's like a 7-page story, and then a 4-page story, and then a 5-page story, and then a 3, and then a 2, and then another 3, and it's just like hello, telemarketers don't want to talk to you. Yeah, so that aside, it speaks to this thing, right? Who was I talking to? I feel like this is the exact same setup. I was talking to Zero Dozer last night on Twitter because what were we talking about? Let's see. It was oh yeah, so one of the stories in that comic is, well, actually, before we jump into any of that, before I talk about some comic book philosophy or anything like that, let's say what's up to everybody who is in the chat right now. we have, well, I know everybody's still getting acclimated to the early times, so I actually really didn't expect anybody to be here. I was actually just going to give my regular spiel and then go into, I don't know, maybe play some games or whatever. But we do have Corey in the house. What is going on, Corey? Corey, I'm sure you have seen it at this point, but there is a new like Ripaverse hat. I think it's for Yaira. Andrew and I were laughing in a good way about it the other night. Check this out. I think it's for the definitive Yaira, or it's for the Horseman. I got to checks. Either way, guys, go to theripaverse.com. Go pre-order some stuff. At the very least, go pre-order Ripazine number 5. Our boy Andrew, he Caffeinated Wolf. He has his debut superhero story in there. He completely original character, completely original story. It's gonna be awesome. We cannot wait. Trust me, I've seen a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. I've talked to him about it. He's used me as a soundboard. I think you're really gonna like it. It's definitely a switch up from what the Ripaverse normally offers, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. Yes, okay, I was correct. Corey, we were looking at let's see, let's jump over to the web. Let's make sure we're on the right web one. Yeah, we saw this hat the other night when we were closing out foil variant, and I told him, I was like, this is the most Corey coded thing of all time. Like you made only one of these, and I know you made it for Corey, right? So good to see you, brother. I hope, hey, it's a little earlier than we normally hang out. Maybe I'll get you for, an extra 15 minutes before you have to head off to bed, but always a pleasure to have you, my man. We also have Shinkai. Shinkai, what is going on? I forgot to ping you back earlier because I have just been running around doing a bunch of stuff, but you tagged me in that video about Beautiful Joe, and you were like, look, somebody else remembers. And I actually laughed because nobody remembers Beautiful Joe, and it hurts so much. I don't know what's up with all of these very beloved video game IPs specifically just being left to languish. At best, a lot of these just get collections. That was probably the best announcement out of the recent Nintendo Direct, was the Mega Man Star Force collection. That's great. I'm super excited for that. I love all those games. I'd love a new one. I'd love a new Mega Man. Instead, we are getting Mega Man in the, what is it called? Sonic Crossworlds, the new racing game, which, unsurprisingly, a lot of people are saying is probably better than Mario Kart World. Which I'm kind of not surprised at. I've played Mario Kart World. I know a lot of friends who, really were excited for Mario Kart World, and Nintendo was touting all the open world features and a new system launcher. And it was just kind of meh. It was in my personal opinion, and an opinion of a lot of people I'm seeing around. Shout out to my friend Al. Shout out to Andrew. Shout out to Steven. They're just kind of it's like an expansion pack to Mario Kart 8. It's cool, and you can it's cool messing around with all that, the novelty, but then you get down to brass tacks and it's just another Mario Kart. And it's kind of rough. But with Crossworlds, it's kind of bringing back the more the way more arcadey style that we used to have in things like Double Dash, right? Or the previous Sega transformed racing games, which were all awesome. But that's Mega Man's coming in there. Let's see. I have the proof. The proof is in the pudding, and I have it. I have to look it up. Where did I share this? I know I shared it with some friends, and I just have to find it. Oh, I think I shared it with Josh, who is in the chat, who says, there was a show tonight. I'm going through a bad head cold, so I'll assume this is a fever dream of sorts. Capcom is what's up. Yes, of course, it's Friday. It is Good Map Ugly time. I am trying to do this a little earlier because we did this a couple weeks back. We did the show at about 3:30 to watch the Magic the Gathering live reveal of the Spider-Man set, or the first big preview, or second big preview after Comic-Con. And that worked out pretty well. We had a lot of people stopping through. I have a lot of, after views on it. So, and then, I have all the energy to go work afterwards instead of, oh man, I'm going to be up until 2. So that's why we're live now. No big changes outside of that, but I'm happy to hear I'm sorry to hear you're sick. Like, I absolutely fucking hate being sick. Like, everybody does, but it's like a particular thing that gets to me because it just knocks me out. And like, I can't focus on anything. I can't write. I can't draw. I can't go to the gym because I'm too weak. I can't go see people. So I just feel like, it's, again, I'm just giving my own description of a very universal phenomenon. But happy to have you, buddy. And yeah, Mario Kart World is 80. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds is 70. Already a better experience for the customer. I would say that too, especially because even at base, oh my gosh, I need to just get this visual up so I can point to it. Otherwise, we're going to keep pointing at the Yaira hat, and that doesn't really matter for this conversation. But anyway, go check it out. Go to Rippaverse, go support Andrew, and let's take a look at this. Full screen that. But, so, in the physical copies of Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, sadly, I just got to put the eulogy here, I guess, because where else are we going to talk about this? Like, I miss video game manuals so much. It's one of those pure childhood nostalgia things, of course, and it's not like anything we could do right now could ever recreate it, because we have the internet and we have friends, and I work in the media, so I get a lot of these press releases and previews and stuff. Or I don't get to go see previews, but they give me preview screenshots and trailers and stuff. Trust me. I would let you guys know and fully disclose if there was ever any conflict of interest or anything like that. But also on that same note, I hope you guys know you don't ever have to worry about that from me with bounding into comics. I fully reject, or I don't fully reject, or how do I put this? If people want to send me a review copy of something, like, hey, here's a graphic novel, hey, here's a Blu-ray set, which has happened before. Early on in my career, Viz sent me the 35th anniversary Dragon Ball art book and a couple Blu-rays to anime Blu-rays to review. And I took them, but I also gave my honest opinion of them, which was they're good, but there's also this missing, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I will never take any sort of, Disney sponsorship or anything like that, or buddy up to them, because it's more about giving you guys the facts and the truth, so you guys can make your own decision about how you feel, which, keep it down, man. We'll get there. But anyway, turning back here, I miss having a manual and you're on the way home, right? And you're reading it in the back seat, or maybe you have to, okay, we're going home, but we have to stop at your aunt's house, or we have to stop at the grocery store, or we have to da-da-da-da-da-da. And so it's I can't play yet, but oh man, at least I can immerse myself in the manual. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. And I think that used to go a long way in immersing us in these video games and their stories and everything, because we could picture it, we could come up with it, we could fill it in. But here, nowadays, you rarely get anything in these. I mean, a Nintendo Switch 2, you don't even get the full software on the cart. But in terms of in-case inserts, you rarely get anything outside of maybe your DLC code, if there's that. There was a period, I want to say 2019, 18 to probably about now, maybe early last year, where they used to not even have colorful they moved away from these kind of colorful inserts, but they replaced them with just white EULA, right? The white paper with the black text that has the end user license agreement, the EULA. And okay, legally you've got everything, but it's so boring. It's just one of those things about where we've gone as a society. You can never go back there, but at least we have those memories, right? And for younger viewers out there, you don't have these ones, but you'll have your own. There's going to be a lot of things that are going bye-bye very, very soon. Um, oh, what's up? We have Andrew. He says, tweet out your stream. Oh, did I not do that? Oh, crud. I don't know what I was doing. Let's see. Let's go get that link. Copy link. We will go to Twitter real quick. What do we say, chat? Get in here. Talking Mega Man and more and Borderlands 4 and more and more. This is what you get when I have to do it live. Awesome. So, thank you, Andrew. Also, shout out, brother. I know you have an interview coming up really soon in promotion of Ripazine number 5. Good luck out there. I mean, I know you've got this. We basically interview each other every freaking week on foil variant. So, Godspeed, brother. And if we're around, well, when you're done, stop on by back. Wow, that was an awful sentence. Look at the cadence interruption that Andrew gave to me. Good gosh. They moved away from even these. I want to like zoom in for a second, but these like colorful inserts over here that say like pre-order bonus item, those were gone for a while. They're coming back now, obviously, but more to the point, in the physical release of Crossworlds, you have this insert that says new racers, vehicles, and tracks coming soon. And among, it's got several franchises there, which are SpongeBob SquarePants, Pac-Man, Ninja Turtles, Minecraft, Avatar: The Last Airbender, and Mega Man. And this is all but confirmed outright by Sega at this point. It's also important to note that SpongeBob is already in this game. Patrick and SpongeBob are already like default characters that you can unlock. So this is where Mega Man is at this point in the franchise, right? This is where I was going, where Star Force is great. I'm excited for the collection, but I want a new entry of anything. And like, I'm still excited. This is cool. I'm really excited to see ostensibly classic Mega Man, probably driving like the Rush cart. That's going to be rad. Maybe they'll have the other guys. Maybe they'll have Bass in his treble cart. Maybe they'll have Roll in the Beat 1. Or no, Blues was in the Beat 1. And then they'll have Roll in the Tango. I don't know. But like, I'm still excited for that. But this is where Mega Man is. He doesn't get any new things. He doesn't get new manga. He doesn't get new like animated things. He doesn't get new video games. There, no light novels, no 30th anniversary illustration with a short update on the characters from the creators or anything. You guys remember? I think it was earlier this year. It's either earlier this year or last year, but it was. I think it's this. Who knows? If Nerdigan stops by the stream, I'm sure she'll be able to lock it down for me. But the 30th, 20th anniversary or whatever it was of G Gundam, the Shonen Battler one, the one that we all probably remember the most because it was on Adults or on Toonami. When that came around, the director and like character designer of that series drew a new illustration showing where Rain and Doman were in like the years past, and then wrote like a very, very short, maybe if you printed it out, 4-page story, and just said, here's where they are. That's great. Like, that's cool. We don't even get that in Mega Man, right? We get sometimes merch drops, licensed merch drops. Let's put it that way, right? Like, Udon will get a bunch of like enamel pins, or there is it Yeetie, I think? They did this really cool Mega Man Legends themed like cross bag, but we don't get anything past DLC. And it's this problem of, it's kind of like the Star Wars problem at this point. And I've said this with Mega Man before, or maybe I've just told this to Josh because we are both giant Mega Man heads. But right now, Mega Man's at that point, guys, where think about when, let's rewind the clock maybe 10 years for us. And remember when we started seeing all of these old games and all of these old IPs that we remembered and old superheroes and all this stuff being revived out of nowhere. And we were like, oh man, our reaction is normally like, oh, okay, you're going to tackle my favorite thing. But, let me rephrase that. When you go to tackle something that's sort of been lying dormant for so long, you run the risk of running up against the image, right? Or like the, yeah, like the image in the person's head or the audience's head that is built up for so long. A lot of times, for example, if anybody out there watched the recent Red Letter Media Mr. Plinkett video about the acolyte and the current state of Star Wars, he brings up a joke about how, the Star Wars Episode 1 fans or like the people who were alive for Episode 1 and went and saw Episode 1 in theaters, they all hated it initially. Like, that movie was denigrated. It was so hated. Like, people got death threats over it. And that's back in the day before it was easy, right? There's no just going onto your keyboard and blah, 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 or hiring an Indian bot farm to just pump out how many ever tweets at, like, whoever you hate. You had to get an envelope, or you had to find a phone and somehow get in contact with somebody who knew them. It was a commitment. So, one second, guys. It is just super hot in here. Yep. I knew it. Somebody turned off the air conditioning. You don't do that in Arizona unless you want somebody to fry. Anyway, yes, exactly, Josh. The Anakin kid, Jake Lloyd, he got so much hate, he quit acting. It's really, really sad. So he suffers from, I think, bipolar or some actual mental disorder. But obviously, with the American healthcare system being what it is and how difficult it is to get anything done, combined with just where we were with mental health understanding back about 30 years ago, they didn't get diagnosed until way later. But in the meantime, he's this small schizophrenic kid who's going to school all of a sudden, and everybody fucking hates him. And it's like, I'm sure we've as older folks, I have no, my audience typically skews the late 20s at most. We all remember the feeling of, oh my God, I embarrassed myself at the party. I don't want to go to school tomorrow. Or, oh shit, I really fucked up last night. They're going to tell everybody. It's going to be embarrassing. And, or just, wow, I can't believe I'm going to school and they're making fun of me for this all of a sudden. Like, where'd that come from? Imagine that. But like, not only like everybody directly around you, but the world. So yeah, it was terrible for him. But in that video, they talk about how nowadays we love the prequel trilogy. We point to the prequel trilogy as, oh man, remember Mustafar and remember Camino and all this stuff. And in the Plinkett video, his point is that in a couple years they're going to be doing that with the Acolyte, which of course they will, because that's the cycle that happens. Once you stop having to actively engage with something, you will, more often than not, the bad will sort of fade away because you've got so much more to worry about. Things change in your life, right? A movie you might have dedicated 900 hours of YouTube content to will, in 5 years, you won't give a shit, because that's just what time does. It sort of, forgives all and lets us grow and move on and sort of that fun stuff. But in that, it brings with it this challenge of kind of what I was like related to that. Once you start softening and you start, moving away from it, a lot of that has to do with the fact that you don't actively remember why you didn't like that movie, or why you wanted to break up with that person, or why you didn't like that job, or something like that, right? And it starts getting really rose tinted. It's really, really positive in your head. You start, that's what they always do in the romance movies or the romance stories, where it's, do you love me or the thought of me, the image of me? And in relation to this, what happens with our favorite franchises or an IP or something or a story, you put it down for so long, we start looking at it as so good and like, oh, like it was the best, like bring it back. Now, as time goes on, the barrier of failure acceptance from fans gets exponentially higher as time goes on. For example, you go 1 year without a Mega Man game. Okay, nobody really cares. Or, okay, that's a stupid time scale. Let me up that. You go 5 years without a Mega Man game. People start getting annoyed, but they still go, well, or you drop a Mega Man game after 5 years. People go, okay, that was. How am I trying to present this? Let me think. Pardon me. Okay, if I really don't know how to present this. What am I trying to say? So basically, if Capcom went 5 years without a Mega Man game, and then they dropped one, and if it was bad, fans would be able to go, that was bad, but it wasn't, we remember that last good one, or, we remember that last one wasn't too great, so we'll keep on keeping on. We also know more's coming down the pipe. But now if you go 10 years without a Mega Man game, and then you go 15 years, 20 years, now you're hitting this, like, oh, it is the best game ever. Like, you guys can't touch this. Like, you can't fuck it up. And what happens with that is, like with Mega Man, with IPs like Mega Man, the developers start getting, cold feet. They go, do we want to touch this IP? Because it is, right now, the challenge for corporations, and this is why I hate corporatism so much, is we have to make sure that this, we could give them a new game tomorrow, but are we confident enough that we are going to be able to deliver something good enough to make sure that this brand is still merchandisable, right? Because if they put out an absolutely dog shit string of games for Mega Man, a lot of people are going to go, oh, don't want that, and you're going to see related sales drop. But if you sort of keep, appealing to everybody's imagery, their rose-tinted recollection, you really can't fail. Even though, for example, Josh and I might be annoyed that we haven't gotten a new Mega Man thing, but you know what? I still bought this base model kit, right? Like, even though we haven't gotten anything new, I still bought this. But if we had gotten a bunch of new Battle Network games that were kind of crappy, I'd probably be less inclined to have pre-ordered that. I'd go, I'll pick that up later. We'll see where we get there. So it's such a bummer, but I'm still really excited about this game because look, I get to race as Hatsune Miku with Mega Man, and I don't know if you guys saw all the, let's see, I know I tweeted this. All the sponsors you can pick for them. Where did it? Yeah, so here was the official account. You can customize your cart with all these brands. And look, if NASCAR had cooler brands that I recognized, maybe I would have gotten into that as a kid. But when you just have a bunch of logos for Pennzoil and Ace Hardware, great, Dad'll know that, but I don't give a shit. But here I get to deck out Miku's cart or Mega Man's cart with a bunch of Beyblade X logos or a bunch of Alienware logos or a bunch of stupid Haichu logos. Like, come on. This is the kind of goofy fun a lot of these kart racers are missing nowadays. Even Mario Kart does this now because it's so locked into trying to appeal to the most amount of people at once, and the super hardcore dedicated Nintendo, the racers who used to snake in Mario Kart 7, right? So it gets too technical, they get too caught up in the weeds, and you miss out on fun things like this. Let's see. Josh says, not sure if intentional or not, but Plinkett saying Dexter Jetster was not a memorable character back in 2010, and using him again in his 2025 review to say he's a memorable character. That was kind of funny, but that actually, I kind of have to admit, that's what happened. And that's part of that nostalgia, right? As fans have less to grab onto, to talk about or speculate on or look to the future on, they start going back into the past and digging into things. And I know, at least from my personal experience, so this is completely anecdotal, my friends and I, Dexter Jetster was he was a meme among us, right? He was an inside joke among us back in high school. We would recreate we would sit down at the lunch table and we would recreate the scene where Obi-Wan was talking to him, or we would refer to the guy who oh, do you know where we're going tonight? No, I'm gonna go text Dexter, Jetster, and it was just whoever we needed to talk to. So a lot more people, touching back on that, going, oh, I remember that. That was fun. And then they go, oh, yeah, Dexter Jettster, he's the best. Oh, my God. And then that now he's a memorable character again. And that's another thing to remember is, like, the internet and real life don't necessarily correlate 100% of the time. So while Dexter Jettster might be really popular online among all the Star Wars content creators, if you will, I'm kind of with you on this, on the other point, Josh. Like, a lot of other people have no idea who it is. But Disney's also not, like, listening to those other people. They're not getting that market because they kind of already have their giant, constant money pumping machine, if you will. Let's see what's going on. Zero, did I cover Pitchford's meltdown already? Not yet. We've only been talking Mega Man and Crossworlds and all that sort of fun stuff. So haven't really dove into anything yet, Zero, but happy to have you. Let's see. Shinkai says, so you go from caring how good it is to caring that it is. Let's see. Yes and no. Let me see if I can put it a little better. You go from caring about you want it to be good, like fans. Yeah, actually, man, like I've never really spoken on this like out loud, but I think actually, Shinkai, you might be right, because when we get the early drop, right? Like, oh, it's been 2 years. Well, I just really care if it's good. It wasn't good. Well, we can try again. We can go. It's easy to, it was 2 years. Well, that dev cycle's over. Hand it to another developer. Maybe they'll have a better shot at it, right? They used to do that a lot with like sequel movies to like big sequels. You would have Lethal Weapon like 1 and 2 or whatever, and then 3 and 4 and 5 would just be like handed off through directors, just kind of depending on what they needed. There wasn't a lot of you're attached to this franchise, and we do kind of need to go back to that. But yeah, Shinkai, I think actually you go from, oh, it'll be good, oh, it's not good, okay, well, maybe the next team will get it right, to going, oh, they haven't given us anything. I'm very, very worried about do they even remember how to do that? Are they going to try to lean too hard into like modern gameplay conveniences or systems or anything like that? Which is why, honest, like this is, I'm side jumping a little, but I really wish we brought back shorter dev cycles. My favorite anecdote in terms of this is all 3 of the original God of War games came out in the span of 5 years. That's the span of time between God of War 1 and like the reboot and Ragnarok, which is fucking crazy to me, right? Like, we don't need a zillion and 4 motion captured things. We don't need to see every wrinkle on Kratos' ball sack. We don't need to see every like fart that comes out of, I don't know, Kano's butt when he's, doing his fatality. But those kind of things make the dev cycles so long. And what happens is you don't get that opportunity to test things out or experiment, because think about things, Mario is a really good example. They used to pump out games pretty frequently up until we got to about the Wii or like around how do I put this? Yeah, like with shorter dev cycles, with like, if you can put out a game in 2 years or 3 years, well, that gives that team enough time to go, all right, we're gonna, or blah, blah, blah. Wow, I am like really tizzying myself up over this, and I don't know why. I know what I'm trying to say. Basically, let's see. So, if you have a shorter dev cycle, let's say you have a 2-year dev cycle between Mav game number 1 and Mav game number 2. That 2-year cycle is, yes, it's quick, but it allows you to save a bunch of money, and that lets you experiment. And if you keep your dev cycles pretty tight like that, you can have, your fans can go, we didn't really like that, but but we're going to keep on because maybe the next one will get it right. And that allows for the company in turn to go, that wasn't great. Let's pull back. Like, okay, this is what they liked from it. This is what they didn't. Let's move forward with this. And that's how you see, look at a lot of the evolution of, let's look at Mega Man, for example. You had the staple games, but then you started having like the Game Boy ones that experimented around a little bit. You put him out in some like board game thing. Like you tried some things with him, and some of them landed and translated into, you know, Mega Man 7 and on, and Mega Man X. And some of them just, you know, people might have liked them, but they kind of just didn't work. Like Mega Man Soccer, right? That's what you kind of want, because then eventually that's a good way for them to, you know, get feedback. This is what works. Well, this is what sells. Well, da 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 da. When you have such a big dev cycle, you have to, or such a long dev cycle, like a 5-year dev cycle, you have to really run the risk with things, right? You're putting a bet right now that what I start developing right now is going to be the same thing everybody wants in 5 years, which we've seen a lot of. Concord, for example, that is a bad idea, especially in the realm of video games, because you know what can happen, guys? Tomorrow, 5 minutes from now, a random indie developer from a fucking shack in Idaho, or under a waterfall in Tokyo, or something, or in a savannah in Africa, can go on to, you know, Twitter and go, hey, I made my own first person shooter, and I gave it, you know, I wanted to distinguish it, so I gave it a twist of, you know, your bullets shoot like I don't know, let's say magic, something easy. Boom, that thing blows up over the internet. Now everybody loves that. Nobody gives a shit about your battle royale, and that's the taste change in video games way faster than probably any other medium, because of the availability of so many projects and the fact that you can get through video games kind of relatively quickly. Yes, movies as well, but video games, for what they are, giving you this big story and this interactive experience, like 40 hours, that's damn it, did my air conditioning turn off again? I feel like I'm over sweating. It did. All right. I'm gonna go up there and stab it later. But let me take a drink of water. And so you put all of that bet on it. Now, if we apply that to like reviving a franchise or coming back to a franchise after a long time, let's take Mega Man, for example, right? Josh, what was it? 2009, 2011, 10 for Mega Man 10? That was legitimately the last proper Mega Man game we've gotten. Yeah, I mean, I really liked X-Dive, but that's a mobile gacha kind of thing. Or not a gacha, but a mobile... Well, I don't know how it was when it was actually on mobile, because I only played the offline version, because I'm not a sucker, and I'm not going to give that much money to a mobile game. But regardless, it's been a long time. So, the last touchstone they have as a reference for, like, what do people like from our franchise is an 8-bit platforming game, which is great. But look at where we are now. If you tried to say, we're coming back with Mega Man 11, and it was another 8-bit platformer, it's just, people like me and Josh would play it, but that is a niche of a niche of a niche product. Like, that is not something that is going to blow, you know, it's not going to make way or make waves with normies. And so you're going to have to update things. Now, the problem is, you've gone 5 years without any idea, or hold on, if they started development right now, they'd be going 10. Mega Man 11 exists. Oh, what 10, 11, whatever. I don't fucking. Yes, 11 does. Whenever 11 was, but see, like, and 11 was kind of a good update. Like, they brought it graphically into the modern era, but you're gonna have to do something if you do another one, because I think it's past the point of going, like, you remember, like, classic you can't do the nostalgia anymore for it. I think we're all kind of nostalgic out on Mega Man gameplay, not necessarily Mega Man classic design and world, just that gameplay. So it's been 10 years since we had 11 or whatever it was, and Yeah, no. Shinkai says, I was thinking the same thing. Either he forgot or really didn't like 11. I straight up just forgot. And that's kind of one of the problems we get into here, right? Like, you bring it up, and I go, oh, yeah, the visuals were great. It was a fun game, but it's kind of nothing to write home about. But if I were to go from 11, and it's been 10 years since we... let's see. It was 2018, so that was 7 years ago at this point. That's still a good... We're still at a good example. So, 7 years since Mega Man 11. If I started or if like I was Capcom and I started development right now on a Mega Man game, I would have had no touchstone as to what do people want from this for 7 years. There's a lot of stuff that has happened, pardon me, in those 7 years. A lot of new gameplay mechanics, a lot of new engines and modes, and just all of this stuff ever expanding in this medium. You oftentimes, when you go to, so when a thing is revived, a lot of times, because it's more often than not being revived specifically because a corporation knows this will get us money, there's always this wary air of, are you going to basically clusterfuck this up? Are you just going to throw in so much shit and follow so many trends in the pursuit of updating this that you just completely botch it? Because maybe, for example, the most obvious thing I can kind of give in my head right now is Mega Man's being developed and they go, cool, everybody loved Metroid Prime and Mega Man has the capability to like transform a little. So like, why don't we do something like that where Mega Man, you know, you go first person and you can switch into a mode or something. Maybe like Mega Man shrinks down. I don't know. That might work for Metroid. You don't know if it's exactly going to work for Mega Man. And you've done no testing for any of that. You haven't tested if fans would like the idea of Mega Man changing in size as a mechanic. Like, does that break? For Mario, that works because it's so fantastical. But Mega Man, it's not super hard science it's not super hard sci-fi like in Party Down, but it's still more tech and science-y. So now you go, oh, I don't know if I can believe, you know, a robot is just shrinking in mass, you know, not like getting like bigger legs or anything, but like, you don't know if fans are going to like first person. You don't even know if you guys actually know how to pull off translating old school boss fights that require a lot of jumping around into, you know, first person combat fights, because you can do them right, but you can also do them really wrong. And so you just run way too much of a risk of that. So that's why I'm always a fan of, you know, 3 years, 2 years, 3 years, whatever, get it out, get feedback, and keep going. The more you build things up, the higher of a cliff you have to fail and fall off of. Let's see. Zero says, serious opinion about Crossworlds, and I know Mav ain't a fan of it, but I'm actually kind of sick of guest character trend these days. City of the Wolves legit flip bad switches on me. Yeah, okay, see, there are two different statements here. I can understand a lot of people's exhaustion with guest characters in games nowadays. It's kind of the same thing I always talk about when we talk about universes beyond in Magic, right? Like, I might like them, but I also understand that it's kind of ruining the atmosphere or the immersion, if you will, of your given franchise, depending on how far out you start getting with, like, the guest, right? For example, Call of Duty. In the early Call of Duty Black Ops 6 days, Modern Warfare 2, 3, whenever that ecosystem came up, they had guest people, but they were actually guest, you know, like guest skins that you could play as, but they were like actual, like known people in like the tactical, like mercenary, I don't know, like, you guys know, just like the cool, I don't know, a cool tough guy that everybody like post-military knows, and he runs his own security outfit. They were doing that, and that's great. But then, as we saw, we got to 7 and where we are now, and we have Beavis and Butthead and Stan from American Dad, which, like, I love Stan, I love Roger. It's weird seeing them in my super serious combat simulator, or especially, and then, you know, with Call of Duty, they had, just random rappers and like Ghostface and Michael Myers, and it gets too weird. Now the other half of that, which is, I do not understand. You have given me to this day, you haven't given me a good reason as to why you don't like the City of Wolves characters, aside from you just don't like them, which is fine. But I also have to push back super hard because that is what you want from guest characters. You want something like, what's his name? Like Salvatore Gacciani or whatever, the DJ, or Ronaldo, because they're so sort of out there and left field, and they can bring something different to the game. Of course, if you start making King of Fighters or City of Wolves or any of those SNK games, if they start designing around like the DJ character type, and we started getting way more fantastical to the point where it's almost like we're playing BlazBlue or Melty Blood, then we've got a problem. But as long as they just go, hey, here are 2 characters, ain't that fun? And now we go to the next game, you can you can not like them, but it's not a war crime, right? For example, I am a giant Soul Calibur fan. We've had guest characters in every game since 2. I remember going, oh, Yoda? Like, this is stupid. I didn't like Yoda. I liked Vader and I liked Starkiller, but Yoda to me felt stupid. I just said, hey, that's stupid. And I moved on, right? Like, it didn't ruin the entire idea of guest characters, even just because it was weird and out of left field, right? And weird and out of left field, especially celebrity cameos, can be really, if you do them right, they can work. For example, the comedian guy, what's his name, from Pokemon trading card game, the Game Boy game. He was fun. He was a wacky guy. He didn't make it about him. They didn't start making Pokemon trading card game him. It was just, hey, I'm here. So yeah, I'll never agree on the opinion that those were so bad that they were ruinable offenses. Punk says, I downloaded Sonic Racing Crossroads beta on the Switch 2, and it's a really cool game. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know. I've played a bit of it myself. I've seen a bunch of friends play it. I'm super excited for it to come out. Can't wait. I mean, I get to race as Miku. I get to race as Joker. I get to race as Sonic and everybody. I will admit, I do currently still have sort of a bad taste in my mouth from the fact that they kind of cheaped out on getting the voice actors back and recording lines and interactions and stuff like that, which I like. That to me feels like corporate sleaze. Like, oh, you brought back all these characters, it's great, but you're not actually bringing them back. You just want the visuals of them so that people buy, your branded popcorn tub, right? So like that bums me out. But if it's still a genuinely good game at its core, and they keep consistently like maintaining it in the sense of how often, like it very often happens that you get a game that says we're going to have 6 things of DLC, and fans kind of tune out by 4 or 5. Something new comes along, or they just move on. And so then that last battle pass, you just go, screw it, like whatever, like we're kind of just like we'll give you whatever you want, who cares. Can't do that here. Like, if you make sure it's still a sharp game through and through, I think you got something. Also, don't take like 400 years to drop all of the DLCs. That was one of the things that, it's not DLC, but with Overwatch 2, I remember like that was something so infuriating. Like that's half of why I started hating that game so much, is we went for like 4 years at a point without anything, with no heroes, no maps. We got new sprays and new skins, but nothing. And nothing will kill a momentum faster than that. If you want your thing to keep going, you got to keep delivering. If you're cool with it just being like, okay, we played Crossworlds for this 4-month period and now we're good, then you're fine. Then you have nothing to listen to with me. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, Josh points out Mario Galaxy 1+2 has no business costing $80. It's the Nintendo curse. We know this, right? They will always charge exorbitant amounts of money for games that are old or that they could easily emulate honestly, it's so morbid to say, but it's kind of a known thing in used game like searching circles. I don't want to say like collecting circles because I'm not going out going like, oh, can I get a graded slab of like Dragon Quest One? No, sometimes I just want a game. I want to go, oh, I want to add Mario Sunshine to my collection. I don't have a copy anymore. You go to eBay or well, I guess it's OfferUp now, but you go to like OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace. I used to go to Craigslist a lot, but that place is kind of dead. And you know, people who are desperate for money will put up, or it's either like people who are desperate for money or people who just don't know what they have will put up, you know, I got to get rid of my GameCube. Give me 50 for everything. And it's got Sunshine and Sonic Adventure 2 Battle and Smash and Metroid Prime 1 through 3 and all that or kind of stuff, right? So that's how you got to do it nowadays. And you know what? That's a general tip for anybody who doesn't want to support any of these companies but you still want a product. Like, shout out to Leon over from Neon Leon. He and I were talking a couple, you know, months ago about, I believe it was the Sonic the Hedgehog Magic the Gathering cards that they did for Secret Lair. He was like, he's a giant Sonic fan, and he's like, oh my god, like I want them, but I refuse to give Wizards money, so I guess I'm just gonna have to. And I was like, then just buy him secondhand, like get him from a game store. And he's like, I will do that. I just like, just, you know, same dumb grumbling I do. But you can always do that, guys. If you don't want to give money because you don't support what they're doing right now, go buy it off of somebody, because they're Disney or Nintendo or whomever, they're not getting a dime of that, right? Unless they turn around and buy something else. But you know what I mean. Let's see. What is let's see. Yes, thank you, Steven Imakuni. That's who it was. I loved Imakuni in that. Also, I'm still mad to this day that we never got the sequel. They did, like, what was it, Fossil and Jungle after that? After those, like, the base set, it's Fossil and Jungle, I believe. There's a Pokemon trading card game, too, for Game Boy. That's not there. Or, like, it never came west. And still to this day, they've never thrown it up on the eShop. It's got to be easy to translate at this point, right? Hire a fan, give a fan translator, because I know I played in ROM of it back in the day that was fan translated. Give that dude like $100 at this point. $100 in a Switch 2. Whatever, you're good. You'll make $9,000 from it by all the Pokemon YouTubers who just go, oh, look, this game's out, and they record a video and they never touch it again, right? Yeah, Shinkai says Monkey Ball has Kiryu and Sonic. Sonic not weird, but Kazuma kind of is. That's a little weird, but I also sort of give that game a pass because or how do I put this? To me, it's not that out of the like pocket, because Monkey Ball is intended to be, there is a story to it, but realistically, it's just sort of supposed to be a puzzle game. So to me, you're just picking your avatar. And also, in terms of like humans, I think that works, because Kiryu, think about the Yakuza games, right? Like, they're just so weird. Everything you do is so odd. Kiryu will do he'll dress up in a bunch of weird things. You could easily see going and doing a subplot line, right? And the final thing you need to do is, Kiryu, we can't save the ramen shop unless you beat like the Yakuza member who lives over here at like Human Pachinko, and Kiryu has to do this. So to me, I can understand, like, on its face, it like gels a little weird, but I think if you start looking at it, if you stop looking at like the material in your face, like this is a game about monkeys and the cast is monkeys, and you more look at like what the concept of it is, that's where I think things make sense for that one. But I like Monkey Ball. I just want to say that I'm sad we don't get a lot of them. Yeah. Oh no, it definitely has. Pokemon Trading Card Game 2 definitely has a fan translation, and I've definitely played it. But it still makes me upset that we give it to us, right? Oh, and that reminds me, everybody, if you are purchasing the Final Fantasy VII Switch 2 port, the Intergrade port, it does come with a free physical Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy packs. So if you don't want them, I will put up a P.O. box where everybody can send everything. No, I'm kidding. Let's see. Oh, wow. Okay. Punk says, I recently bought the Switch 2 Pro controller from Target, and it was 91 and change. I got, like, my jaw almost dropped there, Punk, because I thought you were saying, like, you got your Switch 2 for, like, 90, and I was like, how is that possible? But, pardon me, that's another thing. Like, I can't, in good conscience for myself, go in on a Switch 2 yet, or even a PS5. Like, I never would, but, okay, a Switch 2, because those accessories are so much, until there's, like, a genuine system seller, like a killer app, I'll stick to PC, because everything else is coming out on this right now, and I've got 20 years, how old am I don't know, 20 years at least. Yeah, I'm only 35, but 20 years since we've all got backlogs that go back to I was a teenager, I wanted to play this game, right? So I've got things to occupy my time. Let's see. Yeah, Shinkai says, I'm not against wacky crossovers. I welcome it so long as the character is implemented right. I'm fine with both Sonic and Kazuma. Yeah, and it was a good point. Well, thank you. But also, yeah, that is always the key, right? You always have to make sure that you implement the character right. Because you can... There are definitely... Like, we've seen it a zillion times. There are definitely ways you can incorporate a crossover right. Or you can just completely character assassinate somebody, and you know that's more illusion breaking than anything, right? Is if you had, what's a super serious character? Oh, this is the one that came to my head when we were talking about Kiryu, is, and I don't know if he's in a game. Again, I haven't played any of them very recently, but Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden, putting him in a monkey ball. Oh, that's so super weird, right? That could work as long as you put him in the ball, and if you have him do any dialogue or any interaction with, like, the world, if he even addresses the setting at all, he just has to do one of those quick, like, what, you know, like, demon ninpo is this? Like, there's only one way out. Just like a kind of like a fighting game intro, right? But if you brought him in and you went, okay, he's the super wacky operator of this map, and it wasn't played as like a gag episode, like an anime gag episode, if they all of a sudden were like, this is Ryu now, he's given up the sword and he genuinely just wants to have an amusement park or something, you would go, what is happening here? Or conversely, if they brought him in and all of a sudden they said, unique mechanic for Ryu, he can cover his entire ball in like ninpo flames and then double jump or something, and whatever. That's the wrong way to do it from the other end, because now you're not, the other way with changing Ryu's character, that's not respecting Ninja Gaiden. Going that way, that's not respecting Monkey Ball, because what the all I can even say to that, like if I was sitting here and I saw a trailer, what the fuck is the only reaction I could have to that, because at that point I would just go, this game is cooked. You don't care. You're just trying to appeal to anybody to get them to play your monkey ball game. So it's always an execution, right? Like I say that all the time, or I try to reiterate that a lot, because it really is true, guys. There are, of course, genuinely terrible ideas, but there's also truth to the fact that there's rarely an idea that cannot be salvaged by execution. So it's always taking things like single case basis. You know what I mean? Let's see. Oh, absolutely. The key cards can get fucked. Like, not even a question. I wrote an article a couple weeks back when CD Projekt Red had their latest earnings meeting, and they blew, like, their Switch 2 sales for physical Cyberpunk games were massive. Like, they blew out everybody else. And you know why? It's because the game was fully on the damn physical cart. Hold on, I actually have something to if you guys remember, for a while there, we me and a couple of the guys from That Park Place were hosting a show called That Game Place. It went on hiatus for a while. A bunch of people got busy. Then it came back, I'd say about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. It came back. On that first episode, one of the stories that was brought up was that Switch to, Cyberpunk 2 sold the most of all of these games. My co-hosts, who at the time, you can go find them. I don't need to identify them and throw them under the bus directly. I don't really care that much. But they really locked in on, haha, of course, it's because all the other games are woke. It's because all the other games are bad. This is what you get, Nintendo. This is what you get, blah, 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 when you don't listen to fans. And I'm like, none of that narrative is true. You are just taking something that happened and jamming it into what you want to be true. Because the truth is, it's the only game with the entire game on the cart. That's a big differentiator. So, yeah, I don't know why. I just wanted to bring that one up. Let's see. All right. What should we talk about next? I guess, since I'm at a lull in the conversation, let's just talk about, honestly, yeah, let's just talk about the man of the hour. Let's just get into good old Randy freaking Pitchford. All right, this is so Mr. Gearbox CEO himself. Let's see, where is... Oh, did he delete a bunch of his tweets? Oh, did he delete that really long one? No. Don't be that guy, Randy. Don't be that guy, Randy. Let's see. I think he did. No, he didn't. Okay, great. So, in case you guys have not seen... Oh, great, they have the Digital Foundry link. This is going to be a... No, he didn't, Zero. I didn't see it at first, and I had to scroll a lot further down. So we're good. I'll give Randy one thing. He actually doesn't delete a lot of his stuff. He kind of stands by his tantrums. Whether that's because he knows, okay, I'll rightfully take the egg on my face, or because he actually genuinely thinks he's in the right, that's a question for another day. But in case you guys haven't seen it, you haven't been on the internet lately, obviously, big release of the week was Borderlands 4 for whatever reason. Genuinely, when they announced that, I kind of just, I told my friends, I went, who was asking for that? I can't, even before, what was the last universally well-liked board? Was it 2? Or I guess not 2. It's Borderlands 1, 2, and then the Telltale game. I know a lot of people like the Telltale game, but I know 3 got really universally panned. 2 was really rough. That's where the writing started getting hyper Reddit. But people still liked it. I guess that was just of the time, right? I bet if all those people go back and play it now, they'll probably hate themselves and be like, oh god. It's the equivalent of my generation going back and seeing our really cringy Hot Topic, Invader Zim Waffles phase. Oh god. I never got that bad. Trust me. I was way more of a video game nerd and a weeb than a Waffles kid. But yeah, after that you have what is it? Tiny Tina's RPG or whatever it is, the pseudo Dungeons and Dragons thing. Again, it's a lot of how do you do, fellow kids? LOL, les red. It's so inauthentic is a lot of what Borderlands is. It tries too hard. It's a lot like a kid trying to be... Think about when we were, if you were 15, 16 and you had a younger cousin or a younger brother who... Or a sister out there for the ladies in the crowd. Remember when they would be like, oh yeah, I want to go hang out with you guys, and you're go away. And he might have thought, or she might have thought, I'm old enough, I'm super mature, and because they were acting the right way and they were dressing, but we all were but you're not. You're putting on all these airs, but if push came to shove, you wouldn't, you would crumble. You would still be the 8-year-old, the 10-year-old. That's kind of what Borderlands is, where it's oh yeah, do you like Dungeons and Dragons? And then we go, well, do you? And they go, well, I like Critical Role. but I wouldn't really, I don't really want to dedicate the time to painting a miniature, making a character. And I played a one shot once, and it's very inauthentic. But regardless, yeah. Again, I went Borderlands 4. Like who legitimately was asking for this? And then I got even more weirded out because they were like, oh yeah, we're gonna. Obviously, by the visuals, it's a little less saturated, a little toned down. The writing team was like, "Yeah, we're gonna scoot back just a little bit from a lot of the more like wacky stuff." And so I went, "Oh, well, now you're kind of abandoning what people still liked Borderlands for." Like, I didn't care, but isn't that what Borderlands fans like? What they want? Either way, it comes out. It hits PC. It hits consoles. I believe it's PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS. PC, and then a Switch 2 version is coming next month on the 13th. But lo and behold, players booted up their copies of Borderlands 4, and they started running into just every type of problem, right? You can see the FPS is dipping during like heavy loads. You can see the frame rate stuttering, and these are the only these are only the active visual ones that can be like recorded, right? Go onto any thread on any platform, Blue Sky, Twitter, Steam, Facebook. Anybody talking about Borderlands 4 is going to be talking about the fact that come on, give me more footage. I don't want you guys talking. I want footage. Okay, I guess yeah. So it is just everybody is running into these problems. Frame rates, FPSs. The game stops working. Like, they are running into crashes trying to load it up. They get an hour into the game and they get a crash. They are reporting now, like, it is now being actively or Randy had to respond to somebody, and somebody was like, hey, I am stuttering more. Like, I've been playing the game for like 4 hours, and all of a sudden I'm like stuttering every step. What is happening? And he went, oh, that happens sometimes. Just restart your game. All in all, like, that is not what you want from any video game, much less a quote-unquote AAA title that you're releasing in the current era. Now, what makes this even worse is, so let's go back over to Randy. As the game is out and as everybody starts talking about it and starts criticizing, this is horribly unoptimized. What are you doing here? Like, these problems, guys, were being experienced by people on PCs with the highest end hardware. 5090s, 3D processors. Oh my God, okay, there are now 3D like processing GPUs specifically that are specifically used for rendering things. So for like modeling or video games. But I laugh because that's what we used to call like PlayStation level graphics, like back in that technological era. Like, oh, we have 3D effects, 3D rendering, woo. But either way, top of the line stuff, and they're experiencing these issues. Randy, honest to God, guys, like, Randy's got to be a narcissist of some level, because he does this every time. Something goes wrong with a game, or there's a bad reception to something, and he does the equivalent of like he replies to everybody and tries to defend himself on every single reply. And I don't know, like, we all know this. There is no sure sign that somebody is actually mad and is actually like mauling than them trying to get to every person who says something, especially on a platform like this where you are being replied to, interacted with, Randy is, by users like big Twitch streamers, which, okay, maybe you reply to one or two of those. I know, what's his name from Forbes, Paul Tassi, was talking to Randy. Maybe you reply to him, but Joe Fart Sniffer 1-2, you don't need to reply to him. Or, like One Piece Hater 89. Do you really need to reply to him? But he does it to everybody. And worst of all, he does, this is just bad in general, but this is a personal, like, thing for me. Like, what do you call it? A personal hang-up, pet peeve. He does not ever take responsibility nor admit that he was wrong or is wrong. Case in point, with this episode, he started replying to everybody, telling them, oh, mess with these settings. You can turn this off. You can do this. And as time progressed, he started getting more and more irate, going, I've already posted all these guides. We've already showed you what to do. I don't know what you want from me. It got to the point where he straight up went, I'm sorry, not everybody is going to get to, like, play this game in 4K. What do you want from me? Like, it's a very, like, resource heavy game. I'm sorry. You're going to have to deal with it. And he was saying that to people with, again, 5090s, like the top of the line shit. If your game comes out and the best hardware on the planet can't run it properly, or efficiently rather, that's not on the equipment, especially when it's this universal. At this point, like, you could take Borderlands 4, plug it into the CERN, it will still fuck up, right? The CERN is the most powerful thing in the fucking planet. It's still gonna not be able to run Borderlands because it's gonna get a memory dump. It's gonna have a memory leak, which is clearly what's happening here. It's requesting more RAM, and once it's done using it, it doesn't let it go back to being RAM, right? Like, it doesn't let it go be written over. It just sort of keeps it going. It's really, really bad. So he was saying that to people. He's going out, oh, we already told you, you know, don't expect to play it in 4K. I don't know how to set this one up, but like, it's like a self gotcha, right? Because there is a tweet of him. Let's see. Let's see if I can grab my article, because that has specifically things we're looking for. So, yeah, right? Like, he's, if you're playing on PC, here's a Twitch streamer who optimized settings. Go follow him. Oh, if you're on console, that's probably your TV that's doing it. You know, and then he started getting it. Like, this is what I'm talking about. He starts getting pissy at people. He starts going, oh, well, I was... And this is the self-inflicted own I'm pointing out. So he comes in with this tweet and goes, we had some customer service work prove that through settings tweaks, only being able to climb up to, okay, God, the cadence is all off because of stupid Twitter and its punctuation. But basically, he's saying that after talking with customer service and fielding a lot of the questions about Borderlands fucking up, he is alleging that most of his cases were solved by just tweaking some settings, right? You can climb up to 120 FPS, even on 3 to 4 year old hardware. And it's like, oh, so he says that, and we go, okay. A guy asks him, like, can you give me an example of what you're talking about? Like I don't understand. And he goes, I know you are dead set on playing at 4K with Ultramax settings and using 2 or 3 year old hardware. You do you, but Borderlands 4 and UE5 are doing a lot, and for me, that trade-off is... for frames isn't worth it. I play at 1440p with a higher blah, 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 blah. If you're in the middle or close to minimum specs, I would definitely recommend making that trade. But then he goes into a giant tirade here where he says, where is it? Because he says, because this is the part of the own. Is it... Okay, maybe I can just, like, search it. Maybe it's on hardware. 3 4 year old hardware. 3 4 year old. Oh no, wait, that's okay. Yeah, that's here. It is. It is in this one. He says, I just have to, like, use proper punctuation, people. But you can see it's right here where I'm hovering. But it's about halfway through. But he says, this is not a game. So he's pushing back against somebody. He's really going like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. This is what you can't play, blah, 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 blah. And he goes, this is not a game made to run on 10-year-old PCs. Okay, nobody said anything about 10-year-old PCs. You literally just said, oh, I could do this with a 3-year-old PC. People with a 1-year-old PC, a brand new, week-old PC, are not able to play your game. And I don't know if you guys caught that there, but when we were looking through this tweet right here, where Randy's talking about, look, I get it's getting choppy, but if you lower some settings and play with things, okay, you can only play at 1440, but is that not a good trade for frame? Like, excuse me? You promised us that this would run as a video game at 60 frames per second on this hardware. You don't get to say, like, you're getting something. Isn't that better than nothing? Like, absolutely. Like, if this was an actual storefront, I would be leaving bags of dog shit on Gearbox's doorstep every day, right? Because to make matters worse, right, Randy just keeps going. This is what I'm talking about. He has spent the last 5 days now arguing with people, saying, no, you are wrong. Your PC is fucking up. I don't know what you want me to tell you. He's throwing a giant tantrum instead of just going, crap, we're wrong. Let us work on a fix. I think earlier this morning or late last night, Gearbox, not Randy, Gearbox confirmed that, yes, we are working on a patch. We will get it out to you as soon as possible. But, guys, business, human trust basics 101, right? Your first response, if you've sold somebody something and you get everybody is coming back and saying, whoa, there's something wrong with this product. Especially, you go, oh, I will fix that for you. I will immediately, I'm looking into this. Even if sometimes it's on them, who here has worked in customer service or a restaurant where you've gotten a customer who goes, this tastes like butt, and you go, boss, it tastes fine. They're like, look, it's better to just help, give them what they want. We're gonna lose maybe $5 on this sale, and we get to keep a customer, right? You do not meet a bunch of this with no, you're wrong, right? It's so maddening. And then not only going, no, you're wrong, but then also defending why, they should accept subpar stuff. And that's the thread I pulled up here, which was just the icing on the cake, where he just goes, every gamer has to accept the reality of the relationship between their hardware and the software they're running. Again, saying it's your fault. No, you're crazy for not thinking this is a good, you're still getting Borderlands at 1440. What are you complaining about? Great. Again, this is on the customer side. This goes for all of us out there, right? We should not ever accept that. That is unacceptable without proper, prior notice and an explanation and a talk to fans. You don't just you don't change the deal, pray I don't change it again in the middle of things, right? For example, if you're in a band and you're throwing a show and something comes up, you get sick or your bus breaks down, you communicate to your fans and you say, hey, we're 2 days out, but heads up, we are not going to be able to make it. We've already worked with our ticket people. They're going to, either refund you or we'll come back, but there we go. We're ready to go. You don't imagine sitting down at, God, how do you have an American explain anything? Go, okay, a burger. But imagine sitting down at a restaurant and you order let's say you order a large pizza and you pay large pizza size and they come out with a medium, but a larger medium, right? A medium X, which it's a weird pizza sizing. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. It's not at Domino's. It's mostly at littler places, but they bring it out to you and you go, whoa, this isn't what I ordered. And the chef goes, but it's not, and I know I said I would give it to you, but it's still pizza. It's still what you ordered. And you go, it is, but this isn't what I wanted. This isn't what I paid for. This isn't what I expected. Again, there is no win here. Honestly, the customer, or let me rephrase that. The customer is the one is primarily right here. Even if we are having fun and we're in a sitcom or something, right? And we have the full authority to tell a customer to fart off. That should never be your, how would I put this? Again, I think what I'm trying to say just boils down to A, you don't treat your customers like that, and B, you don't do it on surprise. I think that's what I'm trying to say, right? You can warn them. If you were going to the pizza place and you went up to the front counter and they said, heads up, we don't have larges today. We only have, medium plus. Is that going to be cool for you? You can go, okay, yeah, no, I'm fine with that. You could also decide, but I really wanted that extra slice because I know how many I eat and I'm taking it to work, whatever. You're allowed to make that decision. They're taking, if they do it mid-exchange, they're taking that away from you. It sounds like hyperbole, but that's kind of like the literal definition of false advertising and theft. So it is just it's such a nightmare situation that is completely self-inflicted. And I don't know, just to sort of like zoom out from Borderlands 4, I don't know why they don't like, I know Randy is like the founder and the CEO of Gearbox, but when was the last time his name was beneficial to Gearbox, right? I can't think of a single time when I can go, oh, he at least stood up for, making sure we can play our games when they're offline, or he at least, did blah, 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 or he was at least funny here. Every time he tries to do something, it is just like extremely embarrassing because it's coming from an adult asking us to, like, an adult who's a CEO of a video game company asking millions of people to buy his product. And that's, if he acted like that in the boardroom halls, we'd probably never hear about it. If we did, we'd go, that's awful. Like, what is he doing? But he's doing like this to our face. How is he anything but a liability? Not even touching on the fact that I have no funny way to set up this joke. I'm sure you guys have heard millions of variants on it, but go Google Randy Pitchford USB. It's not great, and nobody's really ever debunked that story or really it kind of just went away. And yeah, I don't know, Randy. People across the board, people in general need to not take things so personally, especially so obviously everybody is a little selfish to an extent, but Americans in particular have this very strong, like, natural, like, calling to be a part of a story or a narrative. So you get so many people acting like, oh, I'm uniquely being attacked here, or, oh, you're unfairly attacking me, because it can't just be like a mundane thing like, oh, I made a fuck up, they're coming after me. It has to be like, I'm on the line, I've got the spotlight. Honestly, you see that a lot in the reactionary culture we have these days, where everybody goes like, they're out to get me, that group, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, you are not that important. You are not that special. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not either. We are not main characters. You know who are main characters in life? No, you don't, because they're not in our levels, right? They're in the upper echelon halls of knowledge and politics and stuff, or whatever, doing things. They're none of us. So, like, I just need people to get the fuck over themselves. Just, like, very, very quickly, get the hell over yourselves. Let's see. Yeah, Zero says, do you remember when I tried to play Destroy All Humans with a GeForce 1050? It runs better than Borderlands. And that's, let's see, yeah, Corey has like the perfect follow-up to that. Corey says, no game should be released unfinished and with performance issues like this. 100% agree. Like, this is obviously kind of an extension or related to, however you want to describe it, to the ongoing problem that Corey touches on here of unfinished, rushed out product, right? Like, oh, we know it. Like, there was some game at the Switch 2 Direct recently where they were like, it's brand new. Also, here comes DLC. And it's like, why can't, is it not done? Like, what are we doing here? But, to relay that back to what I was saying, Corey's right. That is just a basic tenet of not sales, not just like the trade interaction, like the act of trade, right? Like, you want to give them what you asked, like what you said you were going to give them. And if you don't, you rightfully feel like you were wronged. If something happens, if it comes out unfinished, tell people, right? Like I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know there have been multiple times where particularly more like indie devs have said, hey, release date is tomorrow, or 2 days from now. The game, we don't feel it's ready. We will release it, but we are giving you fair warning. It will take maybe 2 more days for us to like put the last polish on this, and then you'll have your thing. You gotta like communicate with your customers, or again, you go, oh, it's unfinished. That's on us. Like the first thing Randy should have said was, we're working on it. We'll get a patch on it. Like we will look into this. You don't spend the next like 72 hours visibly arguing with everybody instead of actively working on a fix. And I'm just like, the more I think about it, it's so like the audacity to go, this is, you could run this in 4K. Oh, but if you can only get to 1440, isn't that a good trade-off? Like, I would smack like the sense out of his mouth, grandma style. Like, are you joking? Who says that? So this doesn't really personally affect me because I have not given a shit about a Gearbox game in, I don't think ever. Here, let me look up what they even have anymore, because with all the like acquisitions and trading around of recent years, who know? Like I always have to look it up. We always do. Let's see. They've got, on their Wikipedia page here. We'll switch over to this. It says Half-Life is the first one listed, and I went, what? That's what that pause was. But they're talking about like Opposing Force, Blue Shift. Pardon me. And those ones are good. And yes, the retail Counter-Strike. Let's see. They list of video games, newer ones. Borderlands, Risk of Rain, Borderlands, Battleborn. Isn't Colonial Marines the really bad one? Yeah, that's the Isolation. There's a good video game and there's a bad one. Josh, if you're still here, I know you and I wanted to play it. I can't remember. I'm sure the fact that I said good alien game just made everybody who knows that like run to it. I'm sure I'll hear it from Zero as well, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So Borderlands, and then we go to publishing. Risk of Rain. Tribes of Midgard. What the fuck even is this? An action role-playing survival game played from a top-down view. Like, who? Honest question to both active like viewers right now, and to the people who watch this in the replay. I know there are a bunch of you. Have you ever heard of this game? I genuinely have not. And that's why, like, this entire endeavor is being propped up by Borderlands. And that's wild to me, because, like, they're not good games. So personally, this has no effect on me. I don't care about Gearbox. If it goes out of business tomorrow, my life is actually immaterially will not change. Actually, I take that back. It will make it so I don't ever have to watch another Borderlands cutscene compilation for featured images. That would be kind of nice. Maybe there's a silver lining to this all, if you will. Yes, Shinkai, that's a perfect analogy too. Yeah, this food might give you indigestion, but at least you're not starving. Like, oh, I'm sorry. It's kind of like Oliver Twist, right? Like, oh, I'm supposed to get food from you, and then gruel, and it's like, that's it, and that's all. Like, well, you're eating, right? You're eating food, and yep, perfect. You've landed on it way better than me, Shinkai. Okay. Red Letter Media just put out a new Half in the Bag earlier today about some really bad Pete Davidson horror movie. Like, it's like bad schlop. Like, if you're a Red Letter Media fan, go check it out. If you're a bad horror movie fan, I don't even remember what the name is. I think it's like The Home. You like put that on for a bad movie night. Whatever date you bring over, male or female, they're gonna love it, and then they're gonna love you, if you know what I mean. But Mike and Jay are talking at one point, and Mike goes on like a ramble, and Jay like sums it up in like 2 sentences, and Mike says, "I'm so thankful for your ability to take my like dumb, pointless rambling and translate it into 4 words that actually make sense." That's my like. Andrew is that for me. So if Andrew's not here, you're all out of luck. Let's see. Timon says, "Yo, what's going on? Was out of power, but it just came back. Also watching Zets yet." First of all, what is going on, Timon? Always a pleasure to have you on board, brother. I'm glad your power is back. I feel like Friday might be like the worst time to have power out because this is the time to watch TV and sit inside with the air conditioning on and yell at the kids who are running by. So I'm glad you're here. Yes, I am watching Zets. I have watched the first 2 episodes as they've aired. Cider and I are trying to arrange a live watch, review, something type of stream with Zets, given that it's airing. We'll let you know more about that. But watching Zets so far, I'm kind of surprised by how much I like it. You guys know me. I'm very, very open to, different things and wacky variations and designs. I'll admit that the Zets, let's see. Oh, that's not how you spell it. Zets. The Zets design, just give me the actual design. I just want like him standing there so we can all look at him. It's super easy. Maybe, are you there? There you are. The design at first, wow, that is so small for you guys. No way, we gotta blow this up. Okay, so the design at first kind of put me off because it's very, compared to what we normally get out of Kamen Rider, which is slightly more armored, even in things like Zeo or Revice like we've been getting recently. So that put me off a little bit, especially with like how much you can clearly tell they went, take this and smush it into this design. Like that red neck thing, that's clearly supposed to be like the scarf, or the boots going into the shoes, or like the teal gradient on his legs are supposed to be like boots. At first, I will admit, the fact that it wasn't armor made me wary. I wasn't against it. I actually do like this design, but I really hope they're not just, it's not one of those ones where they're like, the gimmick is that he's an American runner, and then that was it. And I was really worried about the suit looking a little too out of place in a Kamen Rider show. Not bad, because again, it's Toku. I know what I'm watching. But out of place. I am very happy to report it's not. It really, really works. And I'm such a fan of the belt being like the bag, and you have the little like orb. I'm a big fan of this trend lately of, well, I guess it's the last 2 with Gavi and Zets, where you have like actual little monsters inside of the like transforming item. You put it in and they have a personality, but they give you a thing. I really like that. I don't know, something about like orb, putting it in feels like materia, feels like Pokeballs. So I'm enjoying it a lot so far. We'll see how it goes. I'm very, very happy that Toei is finally simulbroadcasting, bringing this out to fans. And honestly, guys, I know it's more effective for bringing it to people, but I think the right call was to not give this like a dub, because I think that Toku already has kind of a hard reputation over here. We've talked about that a million times. Everybody thinks it's for babbies. But if you put a dub over it, that sort of gives especially American viewers way less like, or more reason to disconnect from it as a serious property or a serious media, right? Because they go, that's dumb. The mouths don't match up. What are we doing here? And the American voice acting industry, I've talked about this before. They have the really bad habit of, they don't try to voice act themselves or a character. They try to voice act the Japanese voice actor, and it's very, very forced. It's grating, when you have like Western voice actors going like, oh my god, what are you, I didn't mean to run into you. Like, it feels weird. It doesn't feel natural, because that's not our humor. That's not how we would communicate things sort of humorously, and instead of translating it or whatever, it gets all out of whack. But yeah, no, I'm totally in for, but or that's what I was saying. And because of that, you know, a regular person listens to one of those dubs and they're like, that's awkward, that's weird, what are we doing here? Okay, I don't really care about that. So this way you're kind of forcing everybody to be on like the same playing field, the same level of understanding that like, we're coming to you, but this is still Japanese, and this is something we take seriously. And I think they're doing well with that. I'm glad there was that little hiccup where they like weren't going to do reruns of it, except for like randomly during live streams. It was something so stupid. They got through that. They fixed it. It is now rerunning the episode like afterwards and everything. So I'm totally on board with it. Let's see. Hey, Sage Duvet is here, or Sage Duvet. I always do that in real life too. I say Duvet by accident because I'm still technically a moron. But he says, thoughts on Absolute Batman's Barbara Gordon. So for those of you who do not know, let me just grab some visuals real quick. When was the last time we even saw her? I'm trying to think. Because by the way, guys, Absolute Batman, this book is, it's so damn good. Like, I can't get over it. Let's see. Where was the last time we saw Babs? It's like way back. I know this. I know that for a fact. But is it? I know it's when he's fighting the party animals, right? That's what he calls them. No, I know. Yes, okay, I see the scene that I'm supposed to be pulling up. I see it in my head now. I'm with you. Don't worry about it. We're getting there. We're getting there. This moron will find his way. But I can't believe I forgot about this scene. It's like one of my favorite scenes from the first issue. But where is it? Okay, yeah. So this will work. Let's go over to the comic window. Hey, I thought I had a mask on you. Let me see real quick. You're not supposed to be showing, because that's ugly. Oh, that's why. Right, because we're supposed to actually be like this, which actually works for us because she's on both pages. So, for those of you who don't know, down at the bottom there on both pages is Barbara Gordon of the Absolute Universe. She is black, obviously. We know Jim he's at least depicted white. Again, with absolute lighting and everything, they could pull a fast one, but I actually don't think Snyder and Dragotta are doing that. So, white dad at the very least. Have not seen her mother. We actually haven't really seen that much of her anyway. So, at this point, I don't really have an opinion on the topic of the race swapping. This is one of those cases where it doesn't feel, to me, there's a difference between race swapping, which is, very forced virtue signaling, doing it for the specific attention, and then ones like this where it is genuinely done to maybe sort of just give a different version of a character, you know what I mean? Sort of rewinding the clock a little bit when Miles Morales was introduced alongside Spider-Man. Cool, we still have Pete, and he's Earth 616 Pete, and they didn't say, oh, Peter in 1610 is now black. Like, oh, yay, now you have they went, there is a new character. He's not your Spider-Man. He's a completely different guy. And you go, cool, that's fine. As long as you're not touching the main one and the main one's still hanging around, we can explore these alternate ones. Of course, there are also those times when an alternate version is very much done just to go, look at me, aren't we so, like, progressive? Aren't we so whatever? Gosh, a lot of them I'm thinking of are like JSA was doing that for a while. But in terms of her, I definitely put her in the latter camp because nobody came out and said, look, we have a black Barbara. We're race swapping her to really talk about this issue. To me, this just felt like sort of one of those natural changes if you were to hop to a different universe, right? I was always a big fan back in the day of, this is still how I approach it today. Actually, now that I think about it, alternate universes should always be explicitly like distinct. I don't really like the ones that sort of the MCU has kind of popularized lately, where it's just like the exact same timeline, but one thing is different, right? Like I like when there were 52 Earths at DC, and each one, like that's the dinosaur one, and that's the atomic one, and that's the one where it's all supernatural based. Or over at Marvel, where you have like the Knights of Avalon, or the 1610 world, or the 2099 world. That's what I like, because I was always a fan of this is me, but they're like similar but so different, because that always felt like what you should be doing with an alternate universe, because it's like there but for one change go I, but that change could be so radical that it's like, what was it? So like, as long as they don't veer into we were doing this to either tell some sort of specific message and make it like a super forced message, which again, Snyder does not, as we've seen from like the New 52, I don't think he's that kind of writer, even up till now. I think he genuinely cares about the story, and a lot of, not everything's going to hit. There's going to be a lot of misses, obviously, and it all varies according to taste. But I think his heart's at least in the right place. Like he approaches his assignments with the right intent. So I'll see it out. Like, and I wouldn't mind. I still wish they would never cross over, because I like the idea of just these two radically different versions of the DCU. But to me, that would be like an interesting, like, Barbara meets Barbara. Like, whoa, I'm a redhead, you're a black girl. Like, what happened there? And then you explain and yada, yada, yada. And it's just, I always liked it because it's sort of like for example, like a lot of people will go like, oh, it always felt cool to me to be like, your life is your life, and of course you're going to want to like protect it and think you're in the right all the time, but here's also you, but look at how they also approach. And it's just like, open your mind to like, don't lock in and don't be like, I know everything. I don't know. I have a very fantastical view of that. So I will gladly eat my words if something goes wrong with the Absolute Barbara, but at current, I think I'm fine with her. And again, we haven't seen her. I think it's like here, I think she talks to Gordon in the issue after the party animals are all defeated, because she's just like checking in on him, or he's checking in on her. So let's see what they do with her. Aside from that, guys, like, this freaking book is so, I know Andrew and I haven't talked about it in a while on foil variant, because there's been so much other stuff to talk about, but like the meme of like Bane is the scariest guy I've ever seen in my life. That's this book, man. Like, just this panel right here, or this exchange where Harvey Dent tries to smack him with a whiskey bottle. Bane picks him up with one hand, takes the bottle in the other, and just like Hulk claps it together. Just wham! So this is good comics. Go pick up Absolute Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. If you like comics, right? Like if you like Western comics, those are the best. Like, they're such a pinnacle of superhero comics. I would also recommend Absolute Martian Manhunter. That's more of a weird Grant Morrisian, like, play with rules of reality type of thing. You guys know I like my wooey stuff. Obviously, as Andrew always points out, I'm a weirdo, so it might not work for everybody, but if that is up your alley, definitely check out Absolute Martian Manhunter. Why was I stuttering like that? Let's see. Shinkai, I can't believe I missed this. Shinkai says, people that pre-order or buy something early become paying testers rather than customers. It's like, that's why I am not a fan of early adoption of anything, right? Like, unless the only things I really pre-order nowadays are things like toys and trading card stuff. If it's a video game or a piece of technology. Oh, okay, I'll also pre-order, certain comic book variants. Of course. But if it's like the new iPhone or a new console, I very much go, I will wait for the refresh, right? I don't think there's ever been... I don't think... Like, I got the 360 and the Switch, like, or not the Switch, the first Wii, or the Wii. I got those at launch. Those might have been the last time I bought something. No, I got a Wii at launch. I think that was the last time I got a console at launch, was the Wii. And that was I think what burned me on it, because I think I've told this story before, but I went to, high school kid, 18 years old or whatever. I went with a couple buddies. We waited outside of a Target, did the, camp in the line overnight thing. It's, if you didn't get to do one of those when you were younger, it's fun. That's kind of what I want to like build out of this show and talking to all of you guys, is like that sense of community that's just like, what's up, man? Like, even if you knocked into me, I'm not going to assume you're a crazy demon leftist or, a super racist right winger. Like, you're just a dude. What's up? How's it going? So, anyway, stay in line, make it through, buy my Wii and a copy of Budokai Tenkaichi 2 and Twilight Princess, obviously, because, or no, not Twilight Princess, or, yeah, it's Twilight Princess. Good. I was thinking Skyward Sword, blah, 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 blah. It was Twilight Princess. Don't listen to my stupid brain. Moving on. Anyway, with Twilight Princess, I'm not setting the story up very well. What is wrong with me today? Anyway, buy the Wii, buy Zelda, buy Dragon Ball, go home. I think the store opened at about like 6 for specifically, like a little early for the sale. And so I grabbed it. I go home. I think I play for like 2 hours straight, right? And then I go to school, and then I go to work, and then I come home and I play all like until like 2 a.m., right? Which, even though that's nothing to stay up to back when you're a kid, I think we all used to probably go down generally a little earlier, probably back in high school. I know, like, once I got to college and I could weigh whether it was worth it to go to class, I started, that's probably when like my clock started moving later. But back then, I would say probably midnight, 1 at the latest. But anyway, played it all day. Next day, same thing, school, work, play it. That, like the third day, Nintendo says, oh, there is an update you guys need to install. That'll, just one of those, like, opening day patches where maybe nothing is necessarily wrong, but they go like, oh, we're seeing like this is popping up sometimes, everybody just download this and you're all going to be good. I go to download it and it won't connect to the internet, and I'm like, that's weird. So I go through everything. I reset my router, I manually, everything you could possibly do. And then I just I hop online and I reach out to the Nintendo thing and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And they say, what error code are you getting? And I show them and they go, well, that means the internal router in your Wii is broken, right? Like your Wii is physically unable. There's something wrong with the wiring in it where you will not be able to connect to the internet. And I went, okay, what do I do? And they said, send it in. We'll send you one right back. It'll be totally free of charge. Don't even worry about it. I went, man, bummer. Like, I wanted to play it, but oh well. Life happens. Fast forward like 2 weeks, I get it back. It's a brand new Wii. They didn't copy over any of my saves or anything, even though I said do that. So all of that time I had on Twilight Princess, gone. So, it took me years to come back to that game, but that is, cautionary tales of pre-ordering, early backing things. I've even told this to Andrew's face, so don't act like, I'm backstabbing one of my best friends. Like, no, but, like, I'm even hesitant to back comic books very often, right? Like, I love Common America. I've loved Common America since I first saw them roll out, like, the designs and say, hey, we're launching this thing. I didn't buy my first Captain America book until the omnibuses came out, because I have just lived too long and seen too many situations where, whether it's a video game studio or, you know, Ethan Van Sciver, just people don't deliver. And I kind of value my time, and thus the money I earn with my time, a little more than just going, oh, I'll give you $100 and gamble it away and see if it'll come. Like, I don't gamble. Like, when I go to Vegas, I just drink. For better or worse, I only drink. I don't do any like gambling or anything like that, because I don't know, not for me. I have I have terrible luck in everything. This isn't like a, oh, woe is me, my life is terrible. No. Life's great. I love my life. I love hanging out with you guys. Everything's going great. But it's just like, I know that if I draw 1 mana in a hand of Magic and everything else is great, I'm not going to have the luck to keep pulling the mana I need from there on out. I know that, for example, if I go to buy, like, I want the Ben Reilly card from the Spider-Man set, the Chase one, I know that I'm not going to pull it, right? Like, I'm not going to go and buy a bunch of boosters or collector's boosters, because I know I'm not going to get it. Like it's just, I genuinely have actual Parker luck in both senses, right? Josh, I don't know if you're still around, but like, I have really bad luck in things go wrong a lot, but then I also have really good luck in the sense that, like, when the things that do go right, it's insane how much of like a lock-in it is. But where did I even get to on that? Frick. Anyway, let's see. Let's keep going. Timon says on Zets, no cringe yet. The suit gets wrinkly, so not great, but better than recent suits. I'm like torn on that, and that's part of what I mean, right? Like, I like when the suits bend and fold and stuff, like back in the day, like Kamen Rider 1, Skyrider, all that stuff, the Showa era. But I like the armor, and I think I don't have a good enough, pardon me again, a good enough grip on what that material is supposed to be yet, right? Like, obviously he'll get into more fights that'll challenge him, and we'll have more info, but for right now, I'm like, is it supposed to be more, is it supposed to be like Kamen Rider Amazon, where it's like slightly bioorganic? Is it supposed to be like Hongo, where it's kind of like a biker jacket? Or is it supposed to be something like, not Zets, 01, where it's all supposed to be like really tight armor, like locked in digital, like your chain. You know what I mean? So yeah, no cringe yet. I want to point this out though, because this is just something I noticed like 10 minutes before we all started hanging out together tonight. But let's see. This was so, and it's relevant to this, and I'm glad it's like the things align. Here we go. That Parker luck. Things aligned specifically so I could talk about this, because there's literally no other way I would have ever gotten on to this topic. Where the hell did it go? Captain America. What? Okay, there we are. Let's go to the comic window. Whoop, the comic window. Bye, Bane. We don't need to be scared anymore for right now. Let's see. The latest Captain America book. Oh yeah, no, this is perfect. This is what it is. So I picked up, I've talked about the series. I really like the series so far. Cap, even though it's like a sliding time scale and I don't know where we are now, you know, it's Cap dealing with the Captain America of 9/11. It's great, but we're not talking about the source of the chunk of the book today. This suit, we've looked at this suit a couple times before. I believe, Timon, you and I, like, you pointed it out a couple shows ago, and I went, yeah, I'm not a big design of it, and I think we broke it down, right? I was like, I don't like the asterisk look on it. I don't like the, like, unnecessary lines. We broke it down. However, I was of the understanding that it was armor. right? Like, here, I'm going to pull up the first issue real quick. Obviously, that's not the suit. That is his old suit, or his classic suit, if you will. Where, right here. So this is where he comes out with it first. And to me, it doesn't look like, it's not Iron Man armor, and it's not Kamen Rider armor, or even like MCU Spider-Man Iron Spider armor. It's not like that. But it still seemed to me maybe actually kind of common, like very light armored, right? Like you would see on a early Kamen Rider 1. And correct, like, if anybody here doesn't see this, please tell me, because when I look at this, the lines, the super solidity of it, and the fact that there's like, it's clearly another layer on top of, like, there's something under his neck, right? It's not like it's not taut against his neck. You can kind of see it there, right? He's got an undershirt, if you will. So it's clearly like a bulky extra thing he put on top. So I was, again, not heavy armor, but armor nonetheless. And then we go to the issue from this, last week, I think? This week? I can't remember. And I look at this cover, and Doom is gripping him by the suit, but it's like cloth, right? Like, clearly, it's like wrapped in his hand. You can see the tension points. I am positive, I'm almost 90% positive that this was maybe a last second change, or a change in general, where maybe they drew classic Cap and then they went, can you do it with like the new suit instead, where it's going to stick around a little longer or something, or we're moving up the cover, whatever, because this makes sense for pretty much any other costume, right? Outside of maybe Bucky's, because that one has actual metal on it. Oh, and so does Sam's, like his Captain America one. So outside of theirs, all of Steve's are like chainmail-y cloth. So that would have made sense. But it's not a, yeah, that's a good comparison, Timon. Timon says, it looks like an American football Under Armour. It does, but that's what also, like, that's what I felt like that was under it. But so like the fact that it's like a little bulkier and it's on top, and you still have something that is skin tight underneath that. I don't know. I felt it was just a little armory. At the very least, not enough to just be like manhandled and go, yeah, like a blanket or a flag or anything. So it's not a big thing. This isn't something to go, oh, Marvel is dead, it's the end of everything, bah. It's definitely not that bad. I'm pretty sure this was just an editorial, like, business scheduling thing. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy in thinking, like, this was supposed to be, like, didn't this feel more like armor? Let's see real quick. Where are we? What do we want to talk about right now? I guess in the absence of really anything, because let's see, we talked Captain America, or, I mean, that wasn't a topic. We talked Borderlands, we've talked smorgasbord stuff. I guess, since this is kind of what's on my mind right now. So, tomorrow, or starting tonight, actually, I'm so bad at setting up, like, segues today. Anyway, yeah, Timon says, if I ever go to Vegas, I'll play $5 on slots. Or, whoops, that's not where I wanted to go. Yeah, like, I'll do that sometimes. Like, if I'm standing around, this has happened more than once, that's why I say sometimes. If I'm standing around with, like, a couple buddies, like, if one of our friends is gambling, he's at a craps table, or he's playing poker, we'll hang around, and obviously if you're hanging around, there's a bunch of, like, slot machines around, so I might, like, you know, be drunk and go, okay, $5. Slat, and I won't try to, like, play, I'll just be like, plat, 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 plat. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think I'm, like, net, like, lifetime, like, down 10, maybe, on doing that, but, again, there's nothing wrong with gambling if you are okay losing that money, right? Like, I'm not. I'm one of those people who, if I see the dollar, like, if I end up red, I go, I could have spent that on this. I could have done that on this. You're so dumb. So I stay away from it. But if you're good, I guess go for it. I don't really know how to follow that one up. I don't want to encourage gambling. I actually, one of the like, I have to admit my bad. Like, I was wrong on these decisions, like, of my adult life, was the legalization of sports betting. Because to me, I was like, yeah, why not? Just let people bet. Who gives a shit? I definitely didn't think of like the poison of every other fucking ad on everything, guys, whether it's like a YouTube or Twitter or just like being out on a like driving down the freeway and looking at billboards. It's all sports gambling stuff. And like, okay, if there was one or two, I'd be fine with it, but it's every single ad and from multiple places, and it just feels so gross. Like, especially like the fact that we've now put it in people's pockets, that's what feels like especially gross to me, because obviously most people are able to place a bet like Timon and I are talking about and walk away. You either win, you lose, whatever, I'll either play again or I don't. But the people who do get addicted and like lose themselves to this stuff, they lose them. Like, it's bad. The scale is not that. It is like here and then bam of like how bad it can be. And so it feels so wrong to me that there is no, you're going directly into these people's homes, into places that they are working, or maybe they're on social media to watch a fun video to get away from this shit. Maybe they are on Twitter trying to follow, a comic artist who they really like, who helps them, keep their mind on drawing so that they move forward. Or maybe like a pastor who shares a lot of good scripture or what. Either way, they're now getting bombarded with like gamble, 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 gamble. And there is no check. Like, they can just go, boom, take out my phone, I'm gambling. Nobody can ban them from gambling. You can't say like, nope, we're not letting this number download any gambling apps. You can't, like, none of that. There's no checks. I would probably feel the same about an alcohol ad if it actually handed you a bottle, right? Like, that's kind of what it's doing. It's going, hey, check it out. You can get this delivered right to you. You don't have to do anything. Don't you wanna? And I don't know. Legalize it, but it just makes me feel so gross when I see all of these ads like all the time. Yeah, Jerry Sun, I don't return fruit. Fruit's a gamble. Oh man, I saw. Oh, there was a really good. If you guys know the YouTubers, like that YouTube group, the Try Guys, I don't really know a lot about them. I know they are popular. I actually don't even know what for. They're a big YouTuber brand. My ex-girlfriend, one of them, really, really liked them. We watched them like whenever they uploaded. But I guess like one of their guys, one of them just got divorced, who was like the last one with a wife. And so now they all have like ex-wives, except one of them who's gay. I don't know. But they divorced, and somebody shared like imaginary dialogue between everybody. And it was like how did you try with the Try Guy? I tried with the Try Guy. Don't know if, like, oh, did he try? He tried. Oh, well, he's a Try Guy. And then George's like, well, I'm a Try Guy. Like, that's all I can think of now when I think, or at least in this like moment where I'm like, yeah, like, did you try the Try Guy? That's all I can think about with Seinfeld right now. But let's see. All right, so it is September 19th. In 4 days, the Magic the Gathering Spider-Man set officially drops. That is when it goes street legal. That's when stores can start selling it. Today, the pre-release event started, which is you go, basically a pre-release event for Magic is you go organize play, you get 6 booster packs, make a deck out of what you've got, play for promos, play for more packs, play for prizes, all that fun stuff. So obviously that's kind of a bit of a tease into next week's stream. When we hang out next week, we will definitely be opening a bunch of the Magic the Gathering cards, because I will have my booster box and all of my bundles. Should be a lot of fun. I am also going to a pre-release event tomorrow, so wish me luck, not only in winning more packs and whatever, because they're at my LGS and sort of in the big grand scheme of things, you're really only, if you don't place, you're only really missing out on like 1 or 2 extra just regular booster packs. So it's more about, you know, fun, camaraderie. I know some stores are very all stores that host these events are plugged into like the Wizards network, so it does actually like accumulate towards your like pro tour, like tournament competitive standing. I don't care about that. I just want some Spider-Man cards. But oh dude, before I jump, yes, thank you, Punk. Yeah, I fucking hate all those online betting site ads. And you know what's even worse about it, like, Punk? So for me, and this annoys me, I'll block one on Twitter or wherever, and then another one comes up, and then another one, and then another one, right? Like MGM, or then DraftKings, or then Sports, and I'm just like, this is so evil. Like, this feels so actually wrong, like actual moral rot. But regardless, so wish me luck tomorrow in not only winning, but I really, really want some luck. Even though, as we just talked about, I don't really have it. Let's see. We are going to get rid of that window. So, I actually think this was last week when we didn't get to hang out, but they did the final full reveal of everything that is in this set. And we did learn that there are, as always, a set of chase cards, which these are super hyper rare. They are very limited. They're going to go for a lot of money. It is sort of the equivalent of from the last set, and I know a lot of you guys aren't Magic fans, so don't worry, we're not locking into that, but I'm sure lots of you may have heard tell of the like Chocobo cards from last set that were super rare. There was like 700 of them in the world. There's no these aren't like that, but they're still pretty damn rare. I really, really want that Ben one, guys. Like, this one right here. Obviously, I want all of them. And this, like, as soon as they started revealing, like, oh, here are the chase cards. And so they first did the black suit there, and then they showed off the Bagman, and I went, oh no, this is going to be the alternate suit, like, line. And sure enough, all of these, like, you guys know me. I love my alternate arts. I love, or like alternate art, alternate costumes. I love my, like, everything in a theme, like my design variants or whatever. And I just saw this and I went, you bastards. Luckily, like, for me at least, I'm pretty thankful that only 2 of these really, really call to me. Obviously Ben, and then the Future Foundation suit. Everything else here is cool, but like, I don't get me wrong, black suit to me, I believe, is one of the absolute best visual designs of all time. That is a fucking winner. You can't recreate that ever. It's just not one of my personal favorites. Like, I like it a lot, but I like Ben's more, and I like the Future more. So I'm glad I don't have to like crap my pants looking for 700 of these, which is what I was really worried about. I only at max maybe have to look for 2. Punk, why you gotta do that to me, Punk? Wishing me all the bad luck tomorrow. Well, maybe this will be like a negative situation where my luck's so bad already. If I get the bad luck from Punk, then all of this rebundles into good luck, and I finally get the Ben. Yeah, Zero says spider armor. Yeah, it's a pretty cool one. Like, don't get me wrong, even though I don't particularly like all these suits, I still like the treatment here. I haven't seen one in person with its foiling, but it's got to look really cool. I will admit, this one's kind of bullshit. Because there is let's see, view all these prints. Here's the regular standard one of those cards, right? Super basic. This one's pretty common. You can kind of see the prices over here, right? Like, this one's $3. Not that hard to... What are these ones? The black suit is $900 right now, $980. Bagman is $1,250, like $1,250. Armor is $900. No price for the big time suit. No price for Ben. $1,000 for the one, like the actual shiny version of this one. Oh, no. That's for the one I'm about to complain about. And then $860 for Okay, so maybe I won't ever get one of these. Holy shit. But anyway, as you can see, here is the base art one, right? Like, this is your Spectacular Spider-Man. And then the one I was criticizing is, it's the 6-armed radioactive one, which I like a lot, actually. Like, I like 6-armed Peter. This just kind of feels lazy, because it's just an extra set of arms, and it's kind of, can't really notice them. You know what I mean? Same art with a different tint, obviously, to show a different time of day. But yeah, this one's a little bit disappointing. Oh no, I totally know, Punk. That's why I was playing along with you. That's totally what it was. Yes, exactly, Timon. It's super lazy. I like this though. Like, I like the base idea. I'm not mad that they reused the pose, because this could be cool. Imagine it, guys. Like, all these lined up, like in a case or something. All of our monkey lizard brains would go like, ooh, shiny, ooh, shiny, shiny, shiny. Like, it's gonna be cool. But it's just like, make them all different, like actual different. And yeah, like that's kind of a big bummer to me. Josh says they could have at least made it nighttime so the extra arms don't blend in with the sunset background. That would have been a good idea, actually, Josh. Wow. Yeah, because in case you couldn't tell from when I was going back and forth there and then looking at the rest of these, that is the theme with these cards. It's supposed to be like 2 hours of time. Like, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 6 of them. So it's like 4-hour jumps in time throughout the day to sort of just show that Spidey's always there. He's always doing stuff. Nighttime obviously went to the glow-in-the-dark big-time suit. But I actually think you're more right, Josh. That would have made way more sense and made the arms pop out way more. Or even just like A, give him a nighttime one, but also give him like a more dark nighttime one. Because I think, yeah, Spectacular is like evening. Future Foundation is like like early morning night. And then Black Suit is, yeah, you can see like the sun is starting to peek out from the buildings back there. So yeah, that probably would have been an improvement. But regardless, I guess I'm probably never going to get them, but they're cool. So these are the ones that are like the hyper chase ones. I think these are the ones that are like numbered and stamped, and good luck finding them, essentially. So I don't really care about these because where'd my water go? I don't really care about the stones or the Infinity Gauntlet. And also, the effects really aren't that great. Like, or I guess returning a creature unlimited amount of times at the beginning of your upkeep to the battlefield, like, that's pretty cool or whatever. But I can find cheaper cards that don't cost $9,000 that can do it for me. I will say, so I don't particularly care about this, but the artist, visual designer in me thinks it would be really cool if each stone, instead of, I don't want them to like stack it up. So like if we have the Mind Stone one, it has the Soul Stone and the Mind Stone. I think it would be cool if it was all of them. Like the Mind Stone one, it's only the Mind Stone one, only the Power Stone, only Reality. Like, I think that'll be cool. Use the exact same art of Thanos with the gauntlet, but every gem give it a different trail, yada yada. I think that would be really cool. Yeah, let me see. Is there anything here that is like super standout fun? We do get a really cool Arachne card, which is crazy. Spider-Woman, Julia Carpenter. I'm just glad to see her. She does not get any love these days. I know, dude, Timon. I am genuinely bummed that we didn't get the Slingers. Like, that would have been so perfect. A Ricochet, a Void Suit, a Hornet. And it's weird because they always used to use those, right? I remember there is that set for the Other drawn by Mike Wernergo where it's Spidey like jumping forward and there's a bunch of, here, I can probably just pull it up. We have the technology. The Other, we are Ringo, Spidey variants. Show me all of them. Don't just show me. I hate when there's no like collected image of this shit, because I just want to see all of them. That's the entire point of having variant covers. Spider-Man. The other Mike Ringo. Well, I guess we're just gonna have to look at one of them because nobody wants to help me the hell out. I hate you, Google. I hope all the bad things in life happen to you and only you. Let's see. Come on. All of them. Full gallery? Is that... The point of this is to show you guys all of them. Not just... this is so frustrating. Just show me, like, the full... full gallery. Okay, well, this is probably as good as we're gonna get, but hey, it's better than sitting here with my dumb ass going around and around in circles. If you guys remember this, right? Like, this was a pretty cool set where it's the same pose. Mike Wieringo, God rest his soul, one of the best to ever do it. It's like a 12-part mini, so he did 12 different variants. And of course, you have Peter, regular, black suit, Ben, Bagman, Ben as Scarlet, Six-Armed Spider-Man, Captain Universe, Armor, 2099, Wrestler, Pete, Pig. Oh, I thought there was more. Anyway, I guess I'm dumb. I remember a distinct point where Ricochet and all the rest of the slingers were like very prominently included. Like Spider-Man 2 PS, yeah, like the Enter Electro, I think might have been the last time, but they were always included in those. So, Prodigy, that's the other one I was forgetting. Yes, Prodigy. I always forget it was like the complete 4 of them. I still like Ricochet and I still like Hornet a lot. Like, and I'm sad because Prodigy is the only one that keeps popping up, and I don't know why. It made sense back during like the initiative because it would make sense that Prodigy would be more on the up and up and want to like do right by the law, but yeah, don't know what happened there. Timon says, not a fan of the suckers on Doc Ock's arms. Yeah, they're a little weird, right? Like, I prefer my Doc Ock arms with the just like metal coiling, of course, unless you're doing some alternate universe Ock where he is supposed to be like full octopus or something, then I'll accept it. But if we're doing the arms, yeah, I don't like the suckers. It's weird to me. The current Doc Ock kind of has that, where each ring on his arms has a suction ring around it, like so that it can like detach and then start moving around with like a gel fluid. It's weird. It's whatever. I still think that he should be in his like superior body instead of being a fat little turd. Marvel are cowards. But yeah, I really wish they had shown up. I didn't even think about that until right now, but I really wish. Let's see. We get Agent Venom, which is pretty damn cool. Always a big fan of Flash hanging out. Let's see. Oh yeah, Spiderling and Spinneret. I think that's pretty cool. MJ love. Always down for more MJ love. What are ones we haven't seen yet? All right. Well, let's go to the top. Oh, because those are all the full art ones. So what more could you ask for? I think we've seen, or I've shown most of these like mono ones that I thought were cool. But, oh, I'll point this out. Spider Islander card has a flavor text from Spider Queen, Soria. First mention of her in like, since literally the end of the Spider Island event when Kane blew her head clean off. So, deep cuts. Very, very, and you know, this is what I say all the time. The Magic team, they clearly know what they're doing. They clearly have the love. So, for all, you know, the business end of it is kind of fucky wucky. I don't know why I said funky, but fucky wucky. The like design teams are generally trying, right? Like they're trying. Cool six-arm Peter card. Nothing more. See, that's how you show it off. You give the green, yellow, really bright background, and then he has like more normal colors on his arms. Oh, dude, I'm I'm pretty stoked that Aranya gets a like old school Aranya instead of just her Spider Girl look. Like she's got the like arm gauntlet thing and her yo-yo. I don't know. I think that's really cool. Then we have there he is. This is all I was trying to get to. We've got our man. He's finally here. It's a great looking card. I'm pretty excited. I will admit that I'm kind of annoyed that so Ben is red and green as his mana cost. Kane is black and red as his mana cost. All of the fucking Clone Saga stuff is blue. Peter himself is white. So there's no good way to make a full Clone Saga deck without going with like a 5-star commander. And unfortunately, the only 5-star commander, like 5-color commander here in this set is that, there he is Cosmic Spider-Man, Captain Universe, which is cool. I really like it, but I'm gonna be real, guys. I've played a couple rounds with this. It feels too broken to be fun, right? Like, look at this. At the beginning of combat on your turn, other spiders you control gain flying, first strike, trample, lifelink, and haste. That's insane, especially if you just make a bunch of token spiders or you're playing a spider deck. That means everything is now a fucking, like, unblockable threat. It's not fun, right? Like, if I want to win, sure, I'll bust it out, but mainly I want to have fun. So I'm still deck crafting around that. We'll see how it goes. I'm just happy that we got it, right? Because I was really worried that we were just going to be leaning into a lot more of the Spider-Verse stuff like these guys, right? Like, we're going to get Gwen. We got Gwen. And Miles, are we going to get, like, Spider India? Like, please, no. Please give me Ben. Don't be like this. And thankfully, they not like this. And where is there's one more. Oh, yeah. So, I want to talk about these because I like these and I hate these at the same time because these are clearly comic book inspired takes on these Saga cards. So here, I'm going to open up the Clone Saga card. Here's what it looks like in normal Magic print. Pardon me. And then as part of the Spider-Man set, they gave some of them, I'll go back in a second to my, hold on. Yeah. They gave some of them this, like these comic book art treatments. And they're like, I like the idea, but most of these just look pretty bad. Like, what's going on with Ben's face here? You know what I mean? What's going on with Gwen's face up in that top one? And then the text, I know you're going for, like, comic book text, but it feels, whatever you used goes a little too Comic Sans-y. So it just leaves me feeling like, not like, oh, I wanted to be jazzed about that. I'm still kind of jazzed, but it's not the greatest. But then, like, on the other hand, some of them, this Origin of Spider-Man, this is drawn by Jim Chung, like a really good marble artist, and it looks good. And I wish more of them were like that. And so it's like it's hit or miss, and it bums me out because, like, what's up with Eddie here? I feel like if you're doing this is when you put out, like tag your big artists. As far as I can tell, the only artists that have, like, from comics that have art here that aren't just like the comic book page reprints, so that's how you get, like, Sarah Pacelli or Steve Ditko. It's Luciano Vecchio, who's great. He does a lot of variant covers. He drew all of the Black Widow Venomous stuff. He is the secondary artist when David Marquez can't draw for Uncanny X-Men. They've got him and then Jim Chung. And Todd Nauk drew, like, one of them. But why, like, who is Logan Lubera? And I'm not saying, like, Logan don't ever draw. Like, you've got talent. It's not a bad piece, but it's got to be, like, you want to show out. Get your, I don't know, get Peach Momoko. Get J. Scott Campbell. Get Assad Ribic. Get John Romita Jr., right? Get fucking Pepe Larraz. Like, I just throw him a bone. I don't know. It feels so weird to me. Like, why wouldn't you went so far with everything else and you didn't close the deal there. And then like some of them are drawn by Leno Francis Yu, who I love, and these look cool. I don't know why they like dropped the ball on half of them. Which Doc Ock one did you want me to? This one, Timon? Was it this one? The art one, not the comic book. Okay, cool. Let me scroll back up to him. He should be right there because I just passed his arms. Oh no, these are the artifacts. There he is. Yeah, look at all classic fat boy, which that makes sense to me. That's the one that everybody knows. That's the Ock you want. Right? Like, did Liefeld drew this? It doesn't even feel like Liefeld. It feels like early 2000s I Want to Be Joe Madura anime inspired art that just, it wasn't great. I did not like that one. Yeah, proper Doc Ock. Yeah, no, I like this look. Do not get me wrong. I just think narratively in the comics we've seen it. Like, I'm done with it. Like, what is left to do with fat bowl cut Doc Ock? Superior Doc Ock was way more interesting. It should have been where we went. But of course, I'm always glad to see this look. I will say, I know it's so, what am I trying to say? Like, I really like the specifically animated series one where with the big orange like chest plate, like Galactus style. It's basically this version, but just like ripped. I don't know. I have a soft spot for it. Let's see. The other thing I wanted to point out was, or show and talk about whatever is, okay. Again, they're, as part of the set, a lot of the main spiders got these alternate borderless art ones, obviously. So here was Ben, the proper magic printed one. And then we go over here to Ben, the comic book one, which again, it's Logan Lubera. Could have done better. Get Tom DeFalco or somebody, just like anybody. But anyway, I digress. These kind of bum me out because, I don't know, guys. You'll see all that webbing around the card? That's supposed to be like the special treatment. Like, that's the, whoa, this is the exclusive. Like, it's supposed to be really cool looking. It doesn't really appeal to me. It kind of looks too messy and dumb and childish almost. So I'm kind of bummed about how those are. But again, that means I don't have to collect a zillion of them. I just have to get that Ben one and maybe that Miguel one, because that one is pretty damn cool and it's drawn by Jim Chung. So how could I go wrong with that? Yeah, then there's like this cool Eddie one, which I'm sure will be more common than than these bad boys, but probably still expensive to an extent. And yeah, I think what's the other thing I had from, these are cool though. We should really look at these. So, as you guys know, or maybe don't if you're not a big Magic head, but many times Magic will reprint certain cards with different art just to, make them more available or to keep them included in a set, yada yada. We all know how reprints go. For the Marvel set, or for the Final Fantasy set, they kind of started this where they went back and they got a bunch of Yoshitaki's art for, Final Fantasy 6 and 1, or wait, is it Yoshitaki? Is that right? Like, why do I feel like that's the wrong word? Like, that doesn't, Amano, right? Like, I was doing Yoshitaka Amano. I got it right. I was just confusing myself. But they went back and he got his like Final Fantasy 6 art, his Final Fantasy 1, 2, and it was really cool. They're doing a very similar thing here where they are going back and grabbing art from past comic book stuff to show off or to put on these alternate print cards. And a lot of them are super cool, right? Like, I really like this one of Pete being fought over by the suits. I like that Path to Exile of the Spider-Man No More. I love the wedding ring here with MJ. I like Counterspell because it's just funny to like look at Doc Ock slapping Spider-Man, but this is kind of where we get into my problem with these, is it feels like a lot of these weren't like focused and like arranged and centered and everything right, because like, why is there so much blank space here? You couldn't zoom in Doc and Spidey and made like, I don't really care about their bottom halves. Like, you could probably do something, at least cut off most of Doc Ock's legs, or at least pick something with a more dynamic background. I know it's Romita art, or I mean, I know it's Ditko art, but he's had backgrounds in some of them before. Yeah, right. Like, Marvel definitely probably hates the marriage one, the wedding ring one. They probably did not want that one to go out. But yeah, like, you know, I still think a lot of them are cool. The Secret Wars #8 looks great. The Todd McFarlane versus Mysterio classic. They got my boy Mobius with his Spider-Man like piece, his famous one, and I'm so like stoked that they did that because Mobius is just the man. We have a very good right of replication here from Mark Bagley from the Clone Saga itself, which I'm very excited to put into my actual Clone Saga deck. We have some more, you know, Eric Larson, Tyler Kirkham, Mike Zeck. Just, I think overall, really good picks. I really like Saw in half here with Hobby tearing the suit in half. The King in Black here with Stegman's art is going to look great. The Savage beating where Venom is over Pete's body on the island and he thinks he's finally killed him. I really like this shock. I don't know. There's something about the way it's placed and the way it plays with the space. This one works. Like, I really like that one. Thrill of Possibility. I really like Dave Raposa. He's one of my, like, favorite paint artists. I just feel like this card's too messy to read. Like, there's a lot going on. If I didn't already know what the card was, I would be like, huh? Like, oh, like, wait a second. I love this Arachnogenesis one, this McFarlane Spider-Man #1. Like, that's so good. I love this Unexpected Windfall. I just don't know, like, why didn't you guys extend the art? Like, take a line, like a pencil, and make it go all the way. This feels really awkward. No Spidey Under the Rubble. No, they have a card of that in the set, but it's not the comic book art. They like do a painted version of it. Let's see. Then, yeah, like this one really bugs me. I know this is Amazing Fantasy 15, but like, why is it all the way over here? Why did you keep the purple like spot for the like trade dress? Yeah, like this is not good. I would have moved Spidey, enlarged him, make him the focus and the robber instead of purple weird skyline. Yeah, don't know what is going on there. We also have, like, I'm super stoked on this one. We have, you know, shout out to Andrew, his boy Michael Turner, his amazing Iron Spider piece. We get a full-on Iron Spider Civil Warrior card. Like, I'm very excited to build around that. We also shout out to Andrew, Humberto Ramos. He got one of his alternate covers thrown onto a card for Tangle. It's a very good card if you're running a Spider deck. Let me confirm that to you guys. And then, just killing it, Mark Bagley, the man himself, the Carnage Man, the Clone Saga Man, the Ultimate Spider-Man man, drop in just a really good Terminate. So, I guess, looking at where we are, I mean, that's really all I have to say about the Spider-Man Magic set. I know not a lot of people are excited for it. It's kind of one of the more meh reactions we're getting among Magic players, but you know what? I'm stoked on it. Oh wait, before we head off, I forgot that there is more to look at, because obviously Wizards is doing their whole stupid secret lair drop, which involves, you know, very limited set of exclusive prints of certain cards. This time around, we're getting, I believe it's 4 sets of Spider-Man ones. So the first is, they're all Daily Bugle headline style, like they're the front page of the Bugle. I really like this. I think that's a really cool idea. We then get some just like random comic art stuff. This is probably the weakest one, and I would probably outright just go like, I don't care. Except for this Soul Ring. This thing drawn by Todd Nauk, who does, you know, Young Justice, a bunch of stuff. You've seen him around. But the spider belt signal, like, I like that. Even though it doesn't make a lot of sense and they don't use it anymore, I like the Spider-Man belt signal. From there, we have what I call are the divorced dad lands, because these are just every guy you know named Kyle who got married right out of high school and is now, you know, trying to, you know, pay his alimony, but doesn't because he's too busy going out on the weekends to like the deserts or the dunes to ride his like ATVs. He saw these, and they're or those type of guys saw these, and they're like, I'm in for this. Like, give me that. I'm kind of bummed it's not, Mark Bagley art or Todd McFarlane or anybody like that. It is Pedro Porter. He's not bad. It works for the divorced dad style. I just think that was an easy layup. You had it there. Then we get, I love these, a set by Mark Bagley himself of Venom in various, moments, Damnation, Tendrils. These all look great, right? Like they're classic Bagley. And then they're also doing a full black and white set of them, which, like, I think as the comic book art dork that I am, like, this thing to me is like, it's calling to me. I must have it. Finally, I think, then we have one more, which is just Villainous Plots, which features just more cards with more art guests. Obviously, Todd Nauk does the Lightning Graves there. Cal New, who does a lot of variant covers, does the Go for the Throat. Roberta in Granada, who does a couple of things for Marvel. He's over on that Soul Ring. Who is that tower? Oh, Robert's also on that tower. And then, of course, the ever lovely Rachel and Terry Dodson, the wonderful couple that they are, providing us with an amazing Black Cat shot for this Deadly Dispute variant. So, all in all, I just like talking about these cards because, look, for all my Magic viewers out there, maybe like 3 of you, I understand the complaints about Universes Beyond. I understand the complaints about this set, that it's not the best, and even I can admit that. Like, looking at it mechanically, it's weird, and there's some choices I would have made otherwise. But what can I say, guys? At the end of the day, you give Ben Reilly some love, you're going to get some love back from me. So, with that, let's see. We are a little over our 2.5 hour regular mark, so I think we will call it there for tonight. Guys, I want to thank everybody for hanging out with me tonight. Zero, Josh, Dozer, or I already said Zero, so Zero, Josh, Timon, Shinkai, Punk, Andrew was here with us for a little while, Duvet was here for a second, I know Steven was here for a bit, anybody else who stopped by and maybe didn't chat, if you, all the people who watch in the VOD, I know you're out there, I love you, I couldn't do this without you, and I couldn't do that without all of you guys here, right? If It's a testament to the fact that you guys are fed up with all the regular bullshit we go through in life every day, all the divisiveness, all the tribalism, and you want to, remember that life you're not a main character. Life is crazy, but we should be coming together. We should not be, look, I guess I'll close it out with this, because I know I said I would talk about this. I don't really have a lot to talk about. And I know it's sort of like the antithesis of what we try to do here, but it sucks in America right now, right? Like, our government, the heat of everything, of society, it's really bad. And all I can ask, like, I'm not going to go into a big full-on rant. I'm sure all of you have heard me at some various points, either in a Discord or in a direct message or on Twitter, get into my thoughts recently. But I will say, guys, I think the 2 most important things that a lot of us forget in these conversations is, one, always double check your information. Make sure that the narrative you're being fed and what you're hearing is actually what happened, right? Because there's way too much of that these days, of going, well, he said this, and it's like, well, he didn't say that, you just feel like he said that. Well, he did. So always, a lot of where we are disconnected is that people are more and more rejecting like a shared collective reality where we are. You can disagree with things all you want. You don't have to agree that, this was a good thing or a bad thing, but you have to be able to agree that X happened or Y happened. And until you can't, or if you can't, you're engaging in hardcore tribalism, and that doesn't help any of us right now. To that end, the constant stop dehumanizing everybody. The left, the right, them, demons, not like, it doesn't help anybody. And all it really does is allow you to get afraid of a boogeyman. Because, okay, so the left hates us. Who is that? What do you mean by that? Like, if they don't define it, they can just keep propagandizing it. So it's rough here right now. I genuinely feel pretty bad about the state of the country, but I'm still here until the day the bombs blow up my house or blow up my internet connection. I will still be here every Friday. I will still be hanging out with you guys, bringing all the positive things I can do in this world with the limited capabilities and time we all have. Obviously, boundingintocomics.com every day for new news. Foil variants, Thursday nights. Me and Andrew break down the week's latest comic book releases. Fridays, as always, right here for Good Mav Ugly. Until then, let's see. Punk says, any plans to do GMU on Saturdays again, Spence? Maybe. I know I tried that out like a couple handful of times. It's really just about scheduling and stuff. I think at the very least, we're going to probably try to stick with this time frame, but it's all up in the air. I'll work on it with you. You guys can help work on it with me. Obviously, I'm not having a show without you guys, so thank you for hanging out. Until next time, everybody, take it easy. Go play something fun. Go read something great. Go watch Superman. All right? Go get some hope in your life. And wish me luck for tomorrow. And yeah, until next time, take it easy, everyone.
As the creator of Mara Jade,
Wait! I am not the creator of Mara Jade, and I want you to get out of this office right now.
I'm sorry, Zeb.
No way.
You brought
No
it on
way.
You brought it on yourself.
I don't want you here.
I'm so
Out.
sorry, George. I didn't think it would go like this.
Out.
Ted, I got your voucher.
Out! There.
I'm sorry about that. I'm so sorry. We'll have him like burned and we'll
I don't
execute
even
him
know
and
who
burned.
that guy